Okay, so today we're playing Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. This is a new-ish convention scenario. I think it maybe was first played at PAX. I didn't see it at Gen Con. It's called Stalker in the Moonlit Mall. And so I made the windows on our overlay way too tall. So I've put little cages above us, and but it looks okay. It looks pretty decent. I'm happy with it. So we'll be playing this convention scenario. I did get permission from Chaosium because I'm never quite sure how they feel about streaming things that are in the convention circuit. So we did get permission to run this one. So thank you to Chaosium for that. And I'm joined by 3 amazing players today. You probably know all of them except for maybe Mike number 2. Should I attempt your last name, Percival Maxwell? Mike Percival
That's
Maxwell?
absolutely right.
Yeah, but we'll do our we'll do our introductions, and you can meet the crew. So this scenario is written by Aaron Thatcher. It's a modern era Call of Cthulhu, so we're going to be playing in 1988, which is exciting. So we can, I think. I need like a special name for you, Mike PM. I think Mike PM. What we're gonna do today is we're really gonna put your 1980s knowledge of Midwestern USA to the test.
No problem at all.
Consider this like a trivia adventure.
I mean, it's like second nature to me.
And if anyone in the chat, I am going to try to monitor it. If you have suggestions on like how to inject pop culture in a better way, I'll be monitoring the chat. So if you actually, this song should be playing, this movie should be, featured, that kind of things. I'll try to work some of that into the game. And if you have suggestions, obviously on how to injure players or drive them insane, I'll be reading up on that as well. And now, so without further ado, let's take a look at who's playing today. We have actually a pretty big announcement for all 3 of you. So I think I'm going to start with Michael Diamond. Can you tell us what you're up to?
Yeah, absolutely. So I appreciate that. So my name is Michael Diamond. I'm the keeper and kind of engine behind the Old Ways podcast. So I appreciate letting me come on. And we announced this morning that we, beginning in 2021, we're going to be rolling out episodes of Horror on the Orient Express. So it's a really big rollout for us. It's going to be a ton of fun. The cast is phenomenal. We've gotten a chance to roll some things around recently, and we're even going to be doing prelude releases once a week in the month of December to kind of build everybody up, introduce each investigator on their own. Going to be a ton of fun.
Awesome. That was a scenario that I was really interested in. I almost bought it until I saw it was like $500 on eBay. Or yeah, a campaign, sorry.
Yeah, the campaign box is it's got quite the reputation. So we're excited to get our teeth into it here shortly. And I will actually be playing with a couple of people visually right below me.
They're next to you in the.
Are they next
Twitch.
to me?
Actually, they're surrounding you. They're flanking you. Yeah.
Well, they better get it in now because all of that ends relatively shortly for them. But yeah, you can find us on all sorts of streaming platforms. It's a podcast, so there's no lovely video, but let us worm our way inside your ears, and we'll make a home. We'll carve something out inside your brain. You don't need that space anyway.
Very good. Yeah, I'm new to this Call of Cthulhu universe, so the Old Ways podcast is like one of the 3 shows that I follow, and I'm active on their Discord server. So I was excited that other people I know are now going to be involved in that. And with that, I'm going to throw it to Rena Henze, who has. Have you been on every stream or almost every stream?
I missed Alien. I missed Alien.
That's true.
But I've been on every other stream that Ain't Slayed has done. So continuing my streak here. But yeah, hi y'all. I'm Rena. You probably know me from this streaming universe on Twitch because I'm always here. I recently did the Mr. Corbett arc with Ain't Slayed Nobody, so check that out. That was pretty awesome. And I am going to be joining Mike Diamond and some other fantastic people for Horror on the Orient Express, which I'm extremely excited about. So check out the Old Ways podcast. And I'm also currently recording a D&D arc with the podcast The First Watch, so you can check them out. They're a fantastic fairly new D&D podcast, and I'm really excited to be recording with them. Those episodes should be coming probably February, so keep an eye out for that. And you can find me pretty much all over Discord for any of the podcasts that we've mentioned, including Old Ways, Ain't Slayed, and then How We Roll, the Good Friends of Jackson Elias. I am everywhere.
Very good. Thank you, Rena. And speaking of the good friends of Jackson Elias, I think that's where I met, well, I know you as Spike, but Mike Percival Maxwell. So welcome to your first Ain't Enslaved Nobody stream. Michael Diamond, you did Edge of Darkness with us, and I'm about equal in my preparation for this one, so you know what to expect. But welcome, Mike. Number 2 doesn't seem fair. We need to come up with different.
Mike PM.
Mike PM.
Careful, though.
Mike.
So I'll ask what you're up to. Obviously, Horror on the Orient Express is a big deal.
Yeah.
Anything else you would like to tell us about yourself?
So, I'm Mike, and this is my first time doing one of these live streams, so you're going to have to forgive me blundering about a bit while I try and find my feet with it. You can find me. I hang around on various Discord servers, Ain't Slade's Discord, and How We Roll, and Good Friends of Jackson Elias, where I occasionally read the odd spooky story and generally make a nuisance of myself as Mr. Spike. I'm on Twitter as well. I don't tweet, whatever it is, that much, the unaccountable Echmail. And yeah, I am extremely excited to be joining the Old Ways podcast with Rena and others to partake in a little horror on the Orient Express. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the ghastly nightmares that are going to be inflicted upon us by the chap sitting beside me on the screen, under me on my screen.
I'm all the way to the
screen,
left on the Twitch. Yeah. Yeah, I like to make it so it's completely disconnected what you're seeing and what the audience is seeing, just to ramp up how confusing things are. So Stalker in the Moonlit Mall, and I think everyone here has, except for me, has been working on their Midwestern accent. So
No.
I've been working on an accent.
Just any accent.
Something.
A random accent. All right.
It's from a town that doesn't actually exist.
Very good. Well, we are
traveled around a lot. That's how I traveled around a lot.
We are playing in 1988, so we're going to time travel a little bit, but not as much as usual today. And I've chosen today's date, so November 20th. 1988. We are getting ready for a big holiday rush. It's a Sunday, and all of you have been invited to Brighton Fair Mall, which you have very little familiarity with because it's a new mall. And you have all received an invitation from an acquaintance of yours, Paul Spindner, to visit the mall. And what's happening is they're having a gala or a gala. You know, I can never decide which way to pronounce that. They're having they're opening the mall to the public tomorrow. So you've been invited to attend this very fancy brunch. And with what you know about Paul Spindner, you're probably predicting that no expense will be spared. This is going to be something that that's quite entertaining and lush and with delicious food selections and everything, pulling out all the stops here. So you've walked into the mall, and there's some signage that's been put together to kind of direct the attendees to this brunch, and you've been directed to the upper level of the mall, and you notice that there's a wide berth for walking through this shopping mall with stores on all sides of you. But this area kind of fixed in between a department store and some of the other stores has been converted into this kind of banquet area, this brunch to celebrate the mall's opening. And like I said, lush decor, twinkling pop music playing over the loudspeakers. Maybe Don't Worry, Be Happy by Bobby McFerrin is now, blessing your eardrums as you're walking into this brunch setup. And what you see are 12 large banquet tables, and these tables are all surrounded by well-dressed guests, and they're drinking mimosas, and you just hear some kind of chatter, maybe overhearing some gossip here and there. And we'll learn soon how well you're going to fit into this well-dressed crowd, depending on how you've configured your characters. But as you approach the banquet, you see that each of the seats has an assigned name tag, and you're actually at the first table. So kind of right when you walk up, you're at this first table, you all see your name tags, and you're all seated kind of in the same corner of the table. And there's only one other seat at the table that has a name tag for Paul Spindner that doesn't have an occupant there. So basically, the three of you arrive roughly at the same time, within 2 or 3 minutes of one another, and it's kind of mid-morning, 10:30 a.m. And I think the best way to begin is to have you arrive at this table and introduce yourselves, introduce these characters to one another. And at the same time, you'll be introducing them to me and to the audience. Let's start with Reggie Dunlop.
Yeah, I'm Reg Dunlop. I'm an engineer, and you can't really beat the smell of a new building, right? I mean, look at this place. They've really done something special here. I kind of I probably rub my hands together quite a bit. He's very eager. He's very, very eager. He looks around and nods to the both of you.
Very good. And do you know Reg's relationship to Paul?
Yeah, I met him when I was designing an office complex for his insurance company. So he's invited me to work on a couple of other projects after that, and I had to review the floor plan here. So I'm really excited to see it come to life.
Very good. And you're probably impressed so far. The environment, it's rather synthetic and sterile, but in 1988, you love that, right? That's what that's what a mall should be.
Well, nobody has touched the outer areas just yet. It's all fresh and clean. It hasn't been trampled on by kids and corn dogs and everything else.
Very good. And one thing that you're noticing is that most of the stores, they have their cages down, but there are people inside. So they're kind of milling about, probably working on training exercises before. Now I'm making this sound like military work, but yeah, they're learning how to run the cash tills and things like that before the mall opens to the public tomorrow. And next, let's move to Cheryl.
Mm-hmm. So I am Cheryl Mckinnon, Lieutenant Colonel Cheryl Mckinnon. You see a fairly tall, about 6 foot, very tall for a woman. In full army dress uniform, which she looks very happy to be in, standing at perfect rigid posture, very straight, very tall, with lightly graying brown hair pulled back in a bun under her cap, which she now takes off and puts under her arm. And I am a recently retired Army Lieutenant Colonel. I served in Vietnam for most of the war. I know Paul from when I came back. I had to go to a bunch of banquets and military awards dinners, and he was there. He was very nice, spoke very highly of the service and of my unit, so we got along fairly well. And I don't know exactly why he invited me to come to a mall, but I'm happy he remembered me at all.
Very good. Maybe it's another award ceremony in your honor.
Yes.
Person of the year.
Which is why I'm in my dress uniform.
Very good. And I think at this time, Girl You Know It's True by Milli Vanilli is probably started to play on the speakers.
I don't know this song.
That's okay. They didn't sing it anyway. It was lip sync, right? I didn't. Hey, that's their good one. Blame It on the Rain might be their good one. But okay, very good. And finally, last but not least, we have, well, maybe least, we'll decide right as we play. Not you, Mike, right. Just the character. So we have Ben Harris.
Yeah. So Ben Harris, he's young. He looks like he's probably about 17. He's actually a bit older than that. He's about 5'9". He's very skinny, and he's obviously had quite bad acne as a teenager, which he's not managed to quite get over yet. He's got a mop of kind of tousled black hair. It's just kind of all over the place. He's wearing black jeans, trainers, and a black T-shirt with the Jesus and Mary chain on it. He's just kind of slouching, hunched shoulders with his hands in his pockets. He doesn't really make eye contact with people that much. He just kind of shuffles about, looking to see where he's supposed to go and see if Paul Spindler's about, and wondering why he's been invited here. I guess he's from Paducah, Kentucky.
I love it.
I've decided that that's his accent.
Oh God.
Boy,
I love it.
he's odd anyway, so it fits, right? Again, talking about the character, of course. And how does Ben know Paul?
So Paul almost kind of headhunted Ben because he'd been pointed out to him while he was working for an electronics company, and he knew that he was a bit of a computer whiz kid. So he asked him to do a bit of software design for him, which he got into, and then they kind of established a bit of a working rapport, and he's asked him to do a couple of other little jobs for him, not entirely always on the up and up as well. So
okay, all right, very good. And of course, all of you know that Paul is an insurance magnate, and he's the primary investor in the Brighton Fair Mall, which made it maybe extra special, right? That you were being invited here for this kind of a pre-grand opening event. And Paul, he's a tall man. He's very clean cut. He's in his mid-50s. He wears those, kind of gaudy 1980s suits every time you've seen him previously. And I'm actually going to show the map of the upper level of the mall to the audience. So that's handout 1 for you, the players. And let's see if this works. Yeah, so this is the upper level of the mall, and you can see that the banquet is taking place in front of the Sears. So they're, very classy. So we have this banquet icon here. That's where you all are currently on the upper level. And is there anything else you're doing? What kind of food selections are you going for? This is a buffet brunch with every breakfast food you could imagine, except for you, Mike PM, because British breakfast food's a little bit different. This is like Denny's Grand Slam kind of stuff.
I don't think he knows what a Denny's is.
Denny's a sausage.
That's good enough, right? You can get a moons over my hammy or something. But anything else you want to do while you're waiting for Paul?
I'm getting a lot of coffee. Very strong as I can make it. Black, no additives, like real coffee should be drunk.
Yeah, and Ben's just kind of wandering about, looking at the buffet, picking at bits of food, looking about as well to see if there's anyone there that it looks like somebody he could maybe scrounge some work off as well.
Okay, Ben's very shifty. I like this.
It's not shifty, he's just shy.
Okay.
Sure, that's what they all say.
It's all about perception, Mike.
Oh well,
Reggie is probably very interested in just getting a lay of the direct land. He obviously wants to be around for when Paul gets here. He doesn't want to drift too far because he's got a ton of questions for him about how everything was implemented and just a lot of technical questions. So he's probably like writing down on a notepad just some preparatory questions about certain places in the mall and what did they finally go with this piece of the structure. And
I'm very excited to answer those questions. I'm trying to rewrite the scenario.
Fear into Cup's heart there.
Yeah.
Diamond.
No, that's good.
That's what I do.
That's the idea, right? So again, you're all sitting there. You've started eating. Maybe you've gone back for seconds even, and I think now Wild Wild West by the Escape Club is probably playing over the loudspeakers. Wild Wild West. You know that song.
I don't know that.
Rena, you might not know that song.
No.
So while you're enjoying your second plate or your sixth coffee for Cheryl, you do see from a group of party goers that are kind of south of where you're seated, Paul Spiner does emerge from the crowd, and he makes his way over to your table. He's dressed in a 1988 sharp tan suit. His hair is slicked back. This is definitely the Paul that you know, as he flashes a phony smile towards you. And you do notice though that, and maybe he's fatigued from trying to get this mall opened. He typically has these glowing eyes. He's kind of a woo man. This is how he gets people to, or earlier in his career, got people to buy into insurance and things like that. But his eyes seem a little empty, a little bit more hollow than usual, and his cheeks are a bit sunken. So maybe he's ill, maybe he's stressed from the mall opening. You're not quite sure, but you do all notice that as he walks up to the table, and he again with this smile, "Oh, thank you for coming. I'm so delighted to see all you. I hope you weren't waiting very long. Was it too long? How's the food?"
"Oh no, the food's good. It's good to see you, Paul." I stand up and go over and shake his hand. The place looks great.
Reg. Oh, thanks, man. We had as you know, we had the best architects, we had the best engineers, best construction crews. I'm so delighted with the way everything came together. And I tell you, there's nothing like a fresh, brand new mall. Did you notice the smell?
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
Or lack thereof.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, beautiful. Oh, Lieutenant Colonel, and he gives you like a poor salute.
I wince internally, but I know him well enough to hide it at this point, so I just reach over and give him a very strong handshake that probably almost dislocates his shoulder. Paul, good to see you. Thank you for the invitation. And while I'm doing that, because the way he looks, it makes me think of the way what I saw with my soldiers out in the jungle, right? If they were dealing with the after effects of some traumatic event, we had a lot of those. Can I do some kind of this quick evaluation, see if I can see anything in his body language or anything that might give me a hint as to what's wrong?
Yeah, sure. So give me a psychology check.
Okay. That is my psychology. Okay, not too bad, but probably not going to work. Ooh, that's a hard success. That's a hard.
Yeah, so I'm very good on the hard success.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Did you want to add something to your evaluation?
No, I'm just surprised.
So he's, with you being the lieutenant colonel, he doesn't find it odd that you're like really checking him out here, kind of evaluating him. He knows you as someone who's kind of analytical anyway, and would look someone up and down. But you do notice, Cheryl, that Spindler definitely seems to be under some kind of stress or strain, much more than what you might expect from opening a new mall, because he's an insurance magnate. He's opened lots of businesses, even ones that are much bigger ventures than this. You've been invited to these ceremonies. You've never quite seen him look like this. Maybe it looks to you like he is very ill. Something's not right.
Mm-hmm. Is everything okay there, Paul?
Oh, yeah, of course. Go ahead. Why do you ask?
Well, you're just looking a little under the weather.
Oh, and he straightens up his suit, worried that maybe it's a little bit crumpled. Oh yeah. Oh, new mall. The burbs here in Cincinnati been waiting for this for so long, and I think that Fast Car by Tracy Chapman now is
okay. I know that one
is gracing your ears, and no, Cheryl, Lieutenant Colonel. Sorry, you know me. Everything's good. I think that we're gonna have a great opening tomorrow. Real excited. Maybe a touch more stressed than usual.
Well, just look after yourself.
And
thank you for the invitation.
And maybe this is obnoxious to all of you. He snaps his fingers to have someone bring him over a pot of coffee for the table, and they also bring him an empty cup. He's not going to eat anything, but he is going to join Cheryl in drinking his share of coffee for sure. But yeah, that's about all you're getting out of the psychology check. He does sit down and starts to drink his coffee black, and he's just kind of watching all of you. So everything's good, huh? You're all getting along okay? Is there anything I can do to help you?
We're doing just fine, I think.
Don't think so. What's the deal with the mall opening then?
Yeah, it's open tomorrow. You looking to get into the computer store or something?
Well, yeah, I guess.
Give you a sneak preview.
See how you got it all rigged up. That'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually have a really nice security system that you might be interested in. You wrote some security software for me in the past, so wouldn't mind giving you kind of a tour of that at some point.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool. Yeah, I'd like to see that. Yeah.
How about you, Reg? Are you? He cuts Ben off mid-sentence. How about you, Reg? Everything look up to code?
Well, I think a thorough examination is going to be required. What I'd really like to see is how the Galleria was set up. I'd like to get behind the walls there a bit and then look at. We'd have to talk about hallway distances and then how you're laying out. Did you have a hand in where the stores went or?
Not really. It was mostly a bidding process. So we kind of put the stores, where they paid for, the premium locations, of course, where we did a lot of observational studies in other malls to see where we got the most foot traffic. And we set the prices accordingly and then let folks bid on them. You see Sears. We got a Sears. Holy shit, this is awesome.
These are going to last forever.
Oh, yeah. Sears, if anything is going to endure ups and downs in the economy, it's Sears.
Spike doesn't get this at all.
Poor Spike.
One day.
Just to add another layer of confusion is that we call.
One day you'll play something set in Scotland, and then
we call Mike PM Spike, so be used to us doing that. That's his name on Discord. So Reg, maybe we'll set up like a special day for you to come around and get inside the walls. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that the day before we open, but certainly, give everything the eyeball test. I don't know that much about construction and engineering, but I'll tell you whatever I can.
Well, that's okay. I do. And I think if we're honest, the day before you open is pretty important. I mean, you've obviously gotten your occupancy permit. That's out of the way. The fire tests are all done, which is great.
He's taking notes. Oh.
But, I mean, I'd be interested to see what the expectation for foot traffic is here, and then Reggie probably just kind of wanders into some very obtuse and mathematical explanation of how the fire alarm works, and then how doors are supposed to be automatically opening. And he tangents a bit.
Yeah,
he starts talking about automatically opening doors. That'll perk up Ben's interest a little bit as well, because he'll be fascinated with what the electronic rig is in the place, whether you've got automated light sensitive shutters for the night, ambient lighting changing from one color to one brightness to another depending on time of day, number of people in, all that sort of thing.
And Paul's nodding like this as you talk technical details.
He's a man out of his element.
Yeah, just nodding, and he's gonna piggyback on one of your comments there for Reggie. Reg. One thing, just one detail, and I think "Bad Medicine" by Bon Jovi now is gonna come over the speakers. About being honest, I'm afraid that I guess maybe I brought you here on false pretenses today, and hear me out first. I see you, Lieutenant Colonel. Hear me out. It's nothing too bad for a group with your skill set. I think you'll actually be excited about what I have to share with you. I need you to help me solve this little problem, and I didn't know how to ask you directly, so I thought I'd invite you here. You know how I like to do things face to face. I thought we could have a nice brunch together. I could kind of get you up to speed on the situation, and then you can decide if you want to help out your old buddy Paul. He does this a lot, speaking about himself in the third person.
Okay.
It's just that you're the most skilled people that I know for the job that I have for you. And hell, I guess I'll just cut to the chase. I don't know if you've heard the news. Do you know anything about what's been going on at the mall over the last 2 weeks?
No.
Well, that's lovely. I wish everyone was like you, because we're getting hit hard in the press. We're getting a lot of bad publicity, and I have to do something about it. As you know, Black Friday's coming up. We decided to open the week of Black Friday. It's a bold move, but I cannot deal with negative publicity with Black Friday coming up. I mean, we're having a hard enough time getting everybody opened up, getting all the employees trained, just making sure we've dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's. So now I have this extra thing on top of that, and frankly, it's pretty annoying. So we have this security guard, Woodford was his name, and he unfortunately died here at the mall. And, we've had security...
What? He died? What do you mean he died?
Yeah, it was an accident, they think, some kind of tragic accident, but don't...
What kind of accident, Paul? Details, please.
Well, this is why I brought Reg. It was a construction accident. That's what the police concluded anyway. So I'm not sure. It didn't pass.
Okay, well, hang on. Has OSHA been notified? Or, I mean, what?
Of course. Yeah. Yeah, of course. They. I think they're coming down in 3 months to do their own investigation. And so he died down on the first level, and I'll take you down there. We can kind of walk and talk in just a minute here. But the reason I wanted to bring you in kind of on the hush hush is that people are implicating that I'm involved in some kind of cover up. That like something really nasty happened here, and I'm like, greasing the wheels with the police department or something. But there are all these rumors out there, all this gossip about this Woodford, this dead security guard, and it's tragic. I mean, I've obviously reached out to the family. I've offered some of my own money to help with service arrangements and everything like that. But insurance people, they just don't get the best rep around here in Ohio. So I can't be that involved in this kind of, let's call it a private investigation. What I'm looking for, I really need you to discover the truth about what happened to this Woodford, because the construction story it doesn't make sense to me. Everything's been done for months. I don't know how faulty construction could kill a man 2 weeks before we open. I'd look into it myself.
Would you like a list of the ways it could kill people?
Yeah, that's why I brought you here, Reg. I want the truth. I want to report, and I want to report out the truth to the police, to the customers.
You want the truth, but you're not willing to be truthful with us as to why we came.
Exactly.
That's a big concern for me.
Yeah, I get that, Reg. I know. I'm always on the up and up. And then he kind of like looks off to the side, and then
up on something. That's for sure.
Just as "Get Out of My Dreams, Get Into My Car" by Billy Ocean comes on, the music rotation.
Gotta do something about this playlist, man.
That's a good top 40, right?
It's a step up from Muzak, which is what most malls have. So
now, Paul.
Yes.
Why did you wait so long to get us here to investigate? Surely more time before the mall opens. What happens if we're still looking and we haven't found the answers you're looking for before you open tomorrow?
Well, I'd love to get it sorted out before Black Friday. Tomorrow would be great if you can figure this thing out today. But I'll put you up in a hotel if you need a couple of days. Or Spine Nurse suddenly is from New Jersey.
Suddenly.
Yeah, but whatever you need, really. I don't. He's already said so much. I don't really want to talk around all these people. So maybe we could do that walk and talk I suggested and go down to the first level and start taking a look around. I want you to kind of work in place of the police, because as far as they're concerned, the investigation's closed. This is a construction accident. They don't want to look into it. But with all these rumors floating around, I need more. And if you don't find anything, whatever, it's exactly where I am today, but there's no harm in letting the three of you kind of look into this. And Ben, of course, I invited you because I don't know, what kind of security stuff might be involved.
Well, yeah, Ben has been kind of hesitantly trying to kind of get a word in during this massive diatribe.
I'm a bad keeper, I know.
No, it's the characters doing it. It's the adults. He's been biting his nails as well, and he's looking very nervous about it. I don't really understand why I'm here. I don't. Did this guy, this guard or whatever, did he have some kind of incident with the electronics, the electrical system, or what happened to him?
No, he got crushed kind of by a little, not little, but a pillar. So Ben, I understand your reluctance here, but I thought that, I don't know how all these new security doohickeys and all that works. So if you end up hooking up with our security guards and their team, I thought maybe you could analyze the footage, timestamps or something.
Yeah, I can look at the footage. Yeah, if you got CCTV, I should be able to tell you exactly what happened.
Yeah, we definitely have that. We didn't really spare any expense for security. So
have the police not looked at this yet?
They did. They did their. They spent maybe a few hours running through everything. Looking around the fountain, doing their investigation, and at this point, he stands up and he's motioned for you all to follow him if you're willing to do that. And so let me pull up the map again. So if you all have handout number 1,
Yeah.
I mentioned you had this little banquet by the Sears here, and where he's going to take you is just down this little bit of corridor to, do you see the icon for an escalator? So he's going to take you down this escalator to get to the lower level of the mall, which I've pulled up here. And I've put this exaggerated fountain where he's walking you to. So you're going to walk by all these stores. And I mean, if you want to do anything with a specific store, you're welcome to. You do have the directory listing here. But he's just walking you through. He's kind of running through the same things he's already told you. Maybe you get the impression he actually doesn't know that much. He really just seems to be concerned that his reputation's taken a hit, and if there's anything you could find that's gonna clear him of these kind of implications on through gossip channels and maybe in the local media, that there might be something underhanded happening here related to him, then he'd probably be satisfied.
So this fountain area is effectively the Galleria. This is the what we would call, I'm saying this out loud, this is your Venus flytrap. Then this is where everybody gets hemmed into. Right? This
is it. And you see it pretty immediately when you step off the escalator, because it's a very large fountain that they have. And as you're walking with Spiner, you're walking over this. It's kind of alternating between navy colored carpet, which is that, really short fibered carpet for heavy traffic, and also this immaculate black ceramic tile. By 1988 standards, this is good. This is well adorned. This is nice. A nice shopping mall. Again, you see those metal cages covering most of the stores, but there are the people inside training and going through that kind of thing. There's a J.C. Penney on the far end that you're walking toward, which you can see beyond the fountain. You're passing by, I guess I should have aligned this to the directory. I'm imagining Walden Books, Claire's, Sam Goody, Spencer Gifts, all these kind of stores you would have found in shopping malls in the 1980s in the U.S. And he's telling you a little bit more about his own knowledge of the investigation. But you're free to ask him questions as you walk and talk as well.
Well, the pillar, show me where it came down at.
Yeah, we're almost there. It's up ahead. Can you see the big gazebo? And he points ahead, and you see these. There's 6 white pillars holding up a some kind of metal dome over this gazebo, and that is in the middle of a large fountain. And it's one of those 2-tiered fountains that you can see in the shopping mall sometimes, with the wall, the perimeter wall of the lower fountain is kind of the width of a bench, so that people can stop and take a break as they're shopping in the mall or leaving JCPenney, whatever they want to do.
Where someone's going to use the bathroom or use a phone nearby.
Exactly. So this is definitely going to be a gathering point for this particular mall. Yep. But you see that a pillar's fallen. You're not getting a close look at it, but you do see that yellow and black police tape all around this fountain. Okay, so that police tape is still up. They're opening tomorrow. A little strange, right? They have not repaired this yet. But he's taking you there.
I understand you might leave this pillar down so we can take a look at it, but why, in God's name, did you not postpone the opening of the mall?
Yeah, it's just I just want to be ready for Black Friday, Lieutenant Colonel. We gotta be open for that, and the stores, they've told me they need at least a few days to get everything ready. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna block off this whole section of the mall the first week and filter people out. They can still enter JCPenney from the outside of the mall, but then they're going to be redirected. So it's not ideal, but we are having a crew come in this week to get this all fixed up to be beautiful like it was before. And
you don't think that that's going to cause gossip?
Yeah, it's a good point, Lieutenant Colonel. I'm not in marketing. I'm in insurance, so I'll take that into consideration. But I ain't closing tomorrow. I can't do it. I got other investors. I got the store owners, store managers. They're all breathing down my neck about this thing.
Cheryl kind of like visibly just goes into straight kind of posture, laser focus, take charge mode. It's like, we'll do our best to get this sorted out for you before the opening tomorrow. And can you give us complete access to the scene?
You can have whatever you need, and I should tell you, you can also have $10,000 cash. So you figure out what's going on here. Each of you, $10,000 cash. Clear the case. Clear my name. I don't want to be involved in any kind of conspiracy theories that are floating around. Thank God there's no internet.
No what?
We're working on it.
Yeah, Ben's on the team.
It might be.
Like Georgia Tech or something. Or I guess it would be like Xavier.
It's coming.
Don't understand these references.
So Ben's going to be having. He's going to kind of be scoping the place out a bit, looking around to see where the CCTV cameras are in relation to where this pillar's fallen. As soon as there's mention of that amount of money, he kind of perks up quite considerably, stops biting his fingernails, and starts actually looking around to quite a lot more intently than he was before. He was just kind of shuffling and just looking at the ground earlier on, not massively interested, but all of a sudden he's very, very interested indeed.
Very good. Yeah, you see maybe about every 25 feet they have security cameras, so there's no shortage of potential security footage. And you notice these, Ben, to be pretty sophisticated cameras with your knowledge of CCTV. So they really did go top of the line for this security system. You
recording all this on Betamax or video disc?
Oh yeah, we got
what now?
We got tapes. We haven't gotten disc quite yet. We wanted to go with the old trusty, you know.
Yeah, sure. You can't beat Betamax. It's the best on the market.
Do we? Well, we might have that newfangled VHS system. I'd have to check with security.
VHS, it ain't gonna last. It's an inferior system all around. The only thing it's got going for it is it's Sony, and they'll market the hell out of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard it'll be around for at least 50 years.
It's not got the quality. It's not got the definition of picture that the Betamax has.
Fair enough. Maybe I'll invest in Betamax then.
Yeah, absolutely. You should put your money in Betamax. It makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Cheryl has completely zoned out of this conversation because she doesn't even own a television.
Okay, that's fair.
So she's literally marching off towards the crime scene.
Okay.
To see what she can find over there and letting the geeks have their discussion.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Mr. Spinner, if you want to show me where the security room is, where you keep the recording devices, I'm happy to sit and look at it for you anytime.
Yeah, I'll come check on you. I'd like you to just kind of check out the scene first, and then I'll give you access to anything you need. And
yeah, sure.
But I've got to get back to the brunch, if you don't mind. I've got some other, not as important as you all, but other important guests arriving, and I don't want to be gone for too long. So I'm just gonna head up there. I'll come back down and check on you in maybe 30 minutes. Is that enough time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good for me.
All right. $10,000. All right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Be thorough, and I'll disseminate all the findings. So don't talk to anybody. Talk to me.
Got
Understood.
It.
All right, very good. And he heads off, and in the same direction you came from. He actually has a little more pep in his step now. Like he does trust your crew with the investigation, as far as you can tell. Now, it sounded like Cheryl was getting along ahead of all of you, but Reg and Ben, as he walks off, what are you doing?
I mean, I guess my plan would be crime scene is important, obviously, because that's the end of it. But I think Reg's first idea is going to be, if this is a new mall and it smells new and everything is new, then if something fell on someone like a column, then there has to be a structural reason for it. And so I'd be going towards those points to see what the situation was, to see if they had done their job.
Good. So you're going to look at like the gazebo itself?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Very good. So you all, Ben, are you going in that direction too? Or are you going off on your own?
No, I think he's really kind of waiting to be given access to the security room, because although he's kind of nodded and agreed with Mr. Spiner, is it Spinner or Spiner? Spiner?
I'm calling him Spiner, but
Spiner. Yeah. He's kind of, he doesn't really see much what more he can do here particularly, but sure. He reckons that once he gets access to the CCTV footage, he should be able to be a bit more helpful. But he'll kind of come along and he'll have a look round, just again checking out the angles of the cameras, seeing if there's any blind spots for the cameras or anything like that. And he's also curious to see if maybe this pillar has fallen over because of some structural thing like Reggie's looking for, but also I don't know, maybe there's some sort of there's somebody has been working against the interests of the mall and looking to bring disrepute on it, and I have some poor security guy has accidentally walked past when he's tried to break something. So.
Good. And Ben, you're smart enough to know when you look at this camera system that you're actually probably now confused by what Spiner told you, that he thinks maybe there's another story, because everything should be on camera. I mean, this is the main gathering place for this mall. It's covered by probably 2 or 3 different cameras. So that's not clear to you. It may also be a little bit disconcerting that he kind of put it off, letting you have access to the security office. You actually give me a psychology check to see if you detect anything there.
My psychology is not great. Okay, so let's just see what we.
Sure.
That is. In fact, you know what? That is.
Whoa.
I mean, I have got
pretty close.
A base psychology, but if I spend 3 luck points, I'll have made that roll.
Wow.
All right, and you'd like to do that?
Yeah, why not?
All right, y'all are rolling hot right out of the gate, right?
It means we'll suck later.
Yeah, not that anything important would happen later in a scenario like this.
I can't imagine why it would.
But yeah, so you believe, Ben, that this is actually an indication that Spiner doesn't trust you in particular, that he did not want you going off on your own to talk to security or to go to the security office. He basically looks at you as someone who needs constant supervision. So probably the lieutenant colonel, he is expecting to watch over this little crew and make sure that everything happens on the up and up, because he knows your reputation, Ben. You've been very helpful in the past, but you do have kind of experience as a hacker, as someone who, is interested in finding means to an end. Maybe you just take that as
he's employed me for just that very purpose.
Yeah, that's right. but definitely an indication of a potential lack of trust for you. Okay. And with that, let's cut over to Reg and his initial examination of this gazebo. So you do, even though you're kind of fixated, it sounded like, on this pillar that fell, you are noticing that this is fantastic. I mean, it looks like a well-constructed gazebo other than the collapsed pillar. And you're potentially confused that something happened so quickly, right? There must have been some huge construction error for something like this to happen before the mall opened, because Spiner mentioned that this had been completed for almost a month, I think, before this incident actually happened. And you see the collapsed pillar is crumbled near a chalk outline on the ground. And if you give me an engineering check, we can find out if you notice anything.
Sure.
He doesn't have any points in that.
No.
As an engineer.
But not enough, evidently.
Okay.
So that's 61 over 50.
Over 50. All right. Could I interest you in pushing the roll or using luck on that?
I'll use some luck. That's fine.
Okay.
Use 11 points of luck and
push the
make
roll.
that a success.
Okay.
We'll wait for the push.
Yeah, wait. If he pushes the roll and the other pillars fall on him.
Right. So yeah, I'll push the roll and I'll spend luck and give it a real good look over Because what I assume is maybe there was an issue pouring with the pouring of the material, and so it finally failed.
Very good. Let me change something here. I had people looking at the directory for an inordinately long amount of time, so I've finally taken that overlay off the screen. I apologize for that. So as you're looking at this pillar, Reg, like I mentioned, you were kind of admiring the way that this gazebo was built, and you're very confident on the success that this gazebo is too sturdily built for this to have happened spontaneously. This pillar did not just fall over in the night and land on this man who's now depicted by a chalk outline on the ground.
Okay, I shake my head. Colonel?
Yes,
Do you have a minute?
of course. I march over.
Literally march over.
Literally march.
This doesn't make any sense. This pillar is the construction. The construction of it's fine. It shouldn't just fail. So something had to act on it to get it to fail.
So it was intentional.
I'm not saying it was intentional or not. What I'm saying is something acted on it. Now, it could have been any number of cranes in here doing something, or maybe a scissor jack or a picker of some sort. But something acted on this. It didn't crumble from within. That doesn't match up.
So just trying to get my understanding of these pillars correctly. What's holding them up? Are they just freestanding on the ground?
No, they're in the center of this fountain, so they make up this center of the second tier, and it looks like, and maybe Reg knows this isn't actually true, but it looks like one continuous piece of rock to you. Like this was all built out, this middle structure, this middle tier and gazebo pillars were all built out of the same stone. So it looks very sturdy, very solid.
So is that where the pillar has fallen? Is the rock actually cracked and broken? Then is that how it's?
It is cracked and broken. And fortunately, with 7 pillars, the dome still looks pretty sturdy. And you may actually question, Reg, whether that's real metal. It kind of looks plasticky to you, that top dome. Everything's got a lot of flash here, but you do feel like the fountain's sturdy at least.
Mr. Dunlop, I can't help but think that it's going to take some kind of force to push one of these pillars over. Yeah, is that right?
Yeah, concrete or rock. I guess I would want that clarification, Cup. Does it appear as poured concrete, or does it appear as actual rock that's been chiseled out?
Oh, good question. So, Reg, to you, this looks like concrete designed to look like stone.
Okay, fair enough. But still, poured concrete, been used since the Roman times. Very sturdy material.
Yeah.
Does not normally just crumble, especially after a few weeks of having just been poured. So I guess I would turn to Ben and say, this is pretty sturdy stuff. It shouldn't just break. Something had to act on it to break, and that means that we're dealing with a force of probably several thousand pounds.
It's not like something that's eaten away at the concrete, some sort of acidic compound or something.
I would look into the pieces if there are still pieces here.
Yeah, there are.
I'd look into it and see if there was any trace evidence of anything else. So, I mean, Reg has got not only engineering but physics as well. So I guess in the back of my mind, while I'm looking at these stones for what Ben has asked for, I'm probably thinking up, okay, well, what would I need to do this? What would I have to have?
Yeah, a physics roll would be great here, and we'll see if you can determine anything else.
Oh boy,
is that a first?
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure that's a first.
I think I had physics once, but I don't think I used it. So that's good.
That is not going to pass.
Ooh,
56 is a little higher than I need.
Okay.
Push the roll.
No problem. I think that even I think that Reg, even on the engineering success, you do believe something that you indicated there in speaking to Ben, in that something must have hit this thing, right? It didn't just crumble on its own. You don't see any signs of deterioration that would indicate acid or anything like that, but it does look like some kind of impact knocked this over. Even if it's as shoddily built as possible, it didn't just happen by itself. That would be a major anomaly.
I would just turn to him and the Colonel and say that this was acted on by force. Something hit this and broke it.
It don't make no sense. So I mean, surely that would have made a hell of a noise.
Sure, but if there's nobody here at the time it happens, then what we need to do is view the tapes.
Good.
And tell us.
Yeah, I was just going to say on that comment, Michael, when you were walking with Spiner, he probably did tell you that this was the night security guard. So this did happen when nobody else was in the mall. He was just making sure, thieves or graffiti artists didn't break into the new mall and disrupt anything.
So what I don't understand is how a security guard can be doing his rounds and not see or hear whatever it is, because it must have been pretty big, that smashed into this pillar and knocked it over on top of him before he could have a chance to get out of the way. That don't make no sense to me.
No, that's a good point. I guess we'd want to know, we need to see the tapes and see where the security guard was at the time the accident happened. Was he close by? Was he in the bathroom? Was he out having a smoke? What happened?
Reggie? Is that your name? Reggie?
Sure.
What else should I call you?
Most folks in the field call me Mr. Dunlop, but that's either in the field or in class. We're just here at the mall. So whatever you like.
Very well, Dunlop. She just goes into last names immediately.
Right.
So in your professional opinion, would this kind of occurrence take time, or could it be fairly fast?
Oh, the pillar? Well, if I had a tool or a device that could put out the force, it could be as fast as I want. I mean, you're familiar with the military weaponry.
Mm-hmm.
I did a small stint years ago in Nam, and there was all sorts of things that we could do to put out some serious force on stuff.
Mm-hmm. But it would have to be intentional.
And if it was some sort of explosive device, there would be burn marks, there would be patterns. There's none of that here. It's just as if one moment later it cracked or it smashed, or maybe something smashed into it, was somebody an idiot with a forklift? I mean,
wouldn't that have been on the tapes though?
Which is why we need to see them.
When Reggie starts talking about patterns on the ground and stuff, Ben starts scouring around the ground, around the area around where this pillar is and where it fell, and that, just to see if he can see any marks, any scrapes of maybe some piece of machinery or something like that that's maybe knocked into it.
Good. So Ben doesn't see anything immediately that looks like that, but the first thing you notice is blood. So there's still blood here at the scene, and you do see some signs of a cleanup crew, but they must be on a break. So there's kind of a mop and a bucket off to the side. So some kind of crime scene cleanup, whatever. What's the movie, Sunshine, whatever it's called. So they might be here cleaning it up, but you do still see blood stains that are spattered on the fountain and on the floor.
And they ain't even cleaned up all the blood. I can't believe he's opening to the public tomorrow, and he's got this poor guy's blood still on the fountain.
Cheryl sees the blood and just gets like this 1,000-yard stare off into the distance.
Good.
The MASH theme song plays.
Good time.
and maybe it's not Cheryl with the 1,000-yard stare, but Ben, if you have any first aid, you could try to take a closer look at the blood.
I just have base first aid, but I can take a look.
That might be true. Well, Cheryl probably has more first aid.
I have decent first aid.
What do you think, Lieutenant Colonel? Is that correct?
You sound so British right now.
Lieutenant Colonel. I'm sorry, I'm getting myself there.
Cheryl just sort of shakes her head and completely ignores the fact that she just zoned out. She's like, yes, what? Blood, yes. I'm going to take a look at it.
Good, yeah. So first aid roll. You could both give me one.
Oh, that's a fumble.
Oops.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah.
See,
So if
lean
you
down and
fumble a
lick
first,
it.
I'm
how
not
do you fumble a
gonna.
first aid roll?
I'm not gonna like hurt you for fumbling the first aid roll, but you are gonna take a look at this blood spatter, and you're kind of looking at it, comparing it to the chalk outline that you're seeing on the ground, and that makes sense. It looks like somebody was crushed by a pillar.
So these appear to match up. It is strange they haven't cleaned it up. This is highly against procedure. I'll have to have a word with them about this. This is a health hazard.
Wait a minute. I step over. The blood's still here, which means who dealt with the body?
Well, the police were here, weren't they? They came and they investigated. I mean, I'm guessing they took the body away to the morgue. I mean, that thing must have squished him like a rat
bug.
tomato. His blood's bashed all the way over there, up on the side. I mean,
How long ago was this? How long ago was this guy killed, Cup?
2 weeks.
And what does the
weeks?
blood look like?
It's crusty. It's dried.
Okay.
It's going to be a difficult cleaning job.
Okay.
2 weeks.
It's not all of the blood you think. It's some of the remnant blood that you're seeing.
Maybe the only police only let them come in and start to clean it up just today or something. I guess I don't know. They must have been investigating it for a while before they put it down to an accident. Procedure and all that. I don't really know.
Whoever left it like this should be peeling potatoes for 3 months.
Well, I don't think police working in a restaurant's really going to help matters any.
Kids these days, you don't know anything.
And-
1,000-yard stare.
I know how to write a subroutine that'll loop a hello world infinitely across the green screen.
Son, you're just speaking a foreign language right now.
And I think, Ben, as you all are kind of looking at this pillar, looking at the blood, you also do notice there's a flashlight that's lying a few feet away from the fountain. And it's just lying there on the ground within the perimeter of the police tape, though.
You just left that there? That doesn't seem right.
Left what, son?
There's a flashlight lying over there. See? That's just maybe a security guard's.
So I'm gonna pull a handkerchief out of my uniform pocket and just gingerly pick it up.
Sure, you
Take
can
a
do
look
that.
at it.
I should tell you that the cleaning crew, whatever they've left there, they do have a box of latex gloves as well.
Okay, so I'll use the gloves then.
Okay.
Wonderful.
And pick up this flashlight gingerly and take a look at it.
Just something I invented at the moment because it seemed appropriate if it was left here. But so you pick it up and you look at it. It's heavy duty. You do think that maybe Reg is onto something. Could be a security guard's flashlight. It seems to check out.
And there's no blood on it or anything as far as I can tell?
No, it doesn't look like there's any blood.
Okay.
Does it still work?
Click.
It does. So, yeah, the batteries are operational. And with that, why don't Ben and Lieutenant Colonel both give me psychology checks? And I'm going to need a hard success.
Oh, I already used my hard psychology success. Yeah, no.
Nope.
75.
Does not look good.
Nope.
Yeah.
And some luck.
Yeah,
I don't have that. I don't have that much luck.
just a touch of luck will get you there. Yeah, so
I don't have enough luck.
So yeah, you've kind of figured out all there is to know about this working flashlight.
So, young man, security tapes, I think. And she's just staring expectantly at you, Ben.
What about them?
We're supposed to look at them, aren't we?
Yeah, I can see the security tapes. What about them?
let's find the security office. And
oh, those tapes! I thought you meant I thought you meant the tapes that they got around the crime scene.
Like Cheryl is just like
the video footage. You're talking about the video footage.
She's just like staring, like cold steel sort of gaze at you, just like.
I love that.
Visibly kind of shrinks and kind of hunches his shoulder over a little bit, and his head sort of sags and says, "Yes, yes, ma'am, sir, ma'am."
Context, son. Context.
Yeah, I'll have a look at the tapes, but I don't have the key to the security office, Mr. Spandner. He took them with him. He said he'd be back in a while. I don't think he wanted me to be in there on my own for some reason.
Well, you won't be.
I have no idea why that would be.
So perhaps at that moment, you all kind of look around, like maybe to see if Spindner's coming back, and you realize a couple of things. One is that this is very isolated, but the fountain's still on. So you have the sound of the fountain and really nothing else. It's just your voices are echoing quite a lot, but it's very isolated out here. Everyone, you do see some people kind of on the other end where you walked from. Everyone's giving this crime scene a wide berth. And another thing that you notice is that the storefronts that are around this fountain, there are some people inside the stores. So, like I said, the cages are down, but there are people kind of training inside. I think that if you take a look at the mall directory, it might give you an indication of the types of places. So one of them, if you're a fan of Stranger Things, you'll know exactly where I ripped this map off from. So at Scoops Ahoy, you see some people kind of practicing making ice cream and running the cash register and things like that. You see some people milling about inside the Gap. You see people at
the Gap.
You see people at Sam Goody, just all of these stores that are kind of surrounding the fountain. A lot of people, though, have kind of stopped what they're doing to walk up to the edge of those cages to watch your group, and they're watching you with great interest, really.
Oh boy.
The other thing I'll mention is that, well, what are you doing? Are you going to look for the security office? We didn't really decide.
Well, how long has it been? He said he'd be back in about half an hour. Has he kind of late already, or
no? Not quite. It's probably been 20 minutes.
Kind of wander about, maybe have a kind of a little look into the windows of some of these stores just to see what's there. Kind of mild curiosity.
Okay. See if you
Just
can
really
pinch anything. Yeah, they. So
you get these ideas.
It's just your natural shifty appearance.
You have a very vivid imagination. That's all I can say.
You do notice that the stores are ready to go for the most part. Everything looks fully stocked. Everything is pristine and perfect. So there's going to be some disappointed managers and shop owners if this thing doesn't open tomorrow, because they're ready. They're just waiting for all this to get resolved, probably.
I shake my head. This doesn't make any sense.
No, and they really shouldn't be opening tomorrow with all of this gesturing and everything.
It's just money, I guess.
The cleaning staff was good enough to leave gloves, but bad enough that they would leave blood. That doesn't make any sense.
I guess they're on a break. You know, they clean and then they stop for their break, and then they go back and they clean some more. So, yeah.
Completely
I just can't
irresponsible.
understand. I don't understand what the police, why they've not seen this. If they've seen the tapes, then they must have seen what happened. I don't understand why nobody knows what happened. That's what I don't get, unless there's something faulty with the surveillance system.
I'm going to look at the lighting in here, Cup, and just see, under normal circumstances, if the mall stays relatively lit at night, how viewable should this area be?
You right now it's very bright. So if they were selling TVs, they'd be on vivid mode. It's like, it's like department store bright throughout the mall right now. You probably, as an engineer, know that they would want to run a little less energy at night when the mall is closed, but you would expect at least adequate lighting for security footage. And I think Ben probably would believe that too, because that's the whole point of the CCTV, to be able to see what's going on.
Right.
Yeah, so they'd either have the residual lighting, the security lighting on, or they'd have the infrared light on the CCTV. So ain't no point having a CCTV if you can't see nothing on it. So.
Also, the flashlight, right? Something should have been picked up for sure. I think with the flashlight being on.
If there was enough light in the area, though, why would they have the flashlight?
Oh, that's true. The flashlight was off when you found it, right? That's me being dumb as the keeper.
No, it's possible.
Yeah.
Well, I guess. Well, maybe there was. If nobody knows what happened, maybe there was some sort of electrical failure, and the lights went out, and that's why he had his flashlight out. Maybe he was going to see what had happened, and then this happened to the poor guy.
Sure.
Listen, I'm not going to wait for him. Let's get up there and look at that tape.
Okay. And then what happens then is that as you start to walk away from this fountain, some of the people in the stores who were watching you, they kind of turn away quickly and start to retreat back into the stores. They maybe just want to know what's going on as well. And you do see from very far away Spiner making his way toward the fountain now from where you came.
Down.
Yeah. So you can go meet him, or you can really do anything you'd like.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like he's not telling us everything he knows, because this should be open and shut. If the cameras worked, unless there's a situation where the cameras aren't working or something happened, then he should know.
Good.
I'm going to go up to him and just sort of bark out in short clipped sentences what we've seen and what we found so far. The flashlight. So just like short clip. We found this. We found this. We found this. He believes this, and just like quickly go through the whole thing as expediently as possible.
Sit rep.
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, as you are walking toward Spiner to meet him and question him, as the tile becomes carpet, remember I said it's kind of alternating, I would like, well, all of you could give me a track roll.
Oh, I actually have that. For once.
Something suspicious. Yeah. I'm going to need another astonishing.
Nope. 74.
God. 79.
I'm going to spend 9 luck to make that succeed.
Oh, okay.
I desperately want to succeed on a track roll. I've never been able to do that before.
Ben, you did fail, right? Just to make sure she needs to spend that. 62.
I don't think mine rolled.
The dice didn't show up, but the number did. I see 62.
Oh, right. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Well.
Yeah.
So it did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So 9 luck. The lieutenant colonel notices as you start to step onto the carpet, it looks like there are some sharp marks, like grooves in the carpet that seem unusual, especially since this is completely new carpet. This is ready to open.
Which direction do they appear to come from or go to? Like, can I?
Yeah, they're coming from where Spiner's walking from that escalator area, like that direction as you track them.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna?
Which escalator is he coming down? Is it the one on the west or the one on the east of the?
It's the one on the east, like from Sears.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then so you're going to have a choice then for Cheryl. Is she going to stop to talk to Spiner or keep following these marks?
I've gotten distracted by the marks because this is interesting, and I'm back in mission mode. So I'm going to be just following these and just ignoring everybody else. Like, just see the marks. Where is this going?
Good. As you do that, Paul walks by you and he's excited. He's like, "Oh, look! detectives. This is so exciting. Wonderful, Lieutenant Colonel. And he has no idea what you're doing, but he sees that you're very intently looking at the carpet there.
Mr. Spiner, you might, I think maybe you might want to ask your cleaning crew to kind of take a look at the area around the fountain. There still seems to be some blood on the fountain and on the floor or over there.
Yes, nasty stuff it is. So the police, they conducted their investigation. They asked us not to touch anything until a few days ago. So the cleaning crew's been in here, working hard. And then he looks around, kind of wondering where they are.
I don't think they've been working that hard. So
hardly working.
They've taken a few days and they still left blood on the fountain. That I don't think that they've been working as much as they've been taking coffee breaks.
Well, if I have to get down on my hands and knees and scrub it myself, I'll have this place ready for tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Other than the collapsed pillar, of course.
Right. So, right. We need to see the CCTV footage from this. It's really. Have you looked at it?
Yeah. I would say I've tried to look at it. What? That's a great idea, actually. So I want you to talk to James Nguyen. He is the chief of security here. Very sharp, very detail-oriented man. The security office, it's on this floor, kind of back toward where we came from, behind the escalator. And you won't find it on the directory since the keeper stole that from a TV show. But, if you just walk all the way to the end of this floor, you really can't miss the security office. It's the only thing that doesn't look like a storefront.
So I'm assuming the police have seen the video footage of the CCTV footage, yeah?
They have. There's some kind of malfunction. The police didn't seem too tech savvy, so they kind of just chalked it up as not having adequate footage to make a determination, I would say.
Okay, sure. Well, I'm sure I can do a little bit better than that if I get a look-see at it.
That's why I called you in, of course, Ben.
Yeah. Well, lead the way.
Yeah.
Carol is still walking determinedly past them, hasn't even noticed Paul's there.
Exactly. So, yeah, Cheryl's kind of walking, looking closely at this carpet.
Cheryl's going to die first.
Well,
excuse me, ma'am, sir, ma'am, Lieutenant Colonel, have you found something there?
Tracks. Just continues going, following them wherever they're going.
Oh, when you say that, Paul Spiner now is trying to look at what you're looking at. Oh, that's weird. Ooh.
You know what that is, sir?
No, I haven't seen these. Lieutenant Colonel, what is this? And there's just these little grooves cut out of those short little fibers in the carpet.
I don't know, but strange. Shouldn't be grooves like this, not on new carpet.
Something being dragged along or something, or is there machinery or something? Mr. Dunlop, what do you think? You probably know better than anyone else.
I don't know. I guess I'd take a look at it and see if I thought there was a tool that could have made that sort of mark.
Okay, give me a natural world roll for Reg.
Oh boy.
Oh, okay.
Reg and his massive natural world, because that's where he's placed all of his points secretly just for this one.
Well, if you fail, Lieutenant Colonel can do this too, since she's been studying them.
It's 10, so we'll hope he rolls really well.
Whoa!
He rolled a hard success. That's a 3.
A 3. That is awesome. Yeah, fantastic. So, Reg, you're very, very highly confident that this was not a tool. It looks to you like it is something sharp, almost like it doesn't make sense though. Claw marks.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say claws.
It's got a wild animal in here. These look like claw marks. I mean, I did a fair amount of hunting and gaming when I was a kid, but yeah, this feels like a. Look at it. Look at the groove right here.
Yeah, maybe. I could call the carpet company.
Seen
I think you're
things
going
like
to have
this
to
out
at some point.
Seen things like this out in the jungle. They'll get you.
They're like
They'll get you if you're not careful.
Jeez.
It's like a tiger's been loose in the mall.
I'm suddenly worried about the Colonel having a flashback or something like that.
She's just trying to beg for some kind of sanity check. No,
I'm just acting on the fact that my sanity is 45. I'm not exactly sane to begin with.
Colonel, is your surname Kurtz by any chance?
and Spindler is looking at these going, well, we have the pet store, but I don't even know if they have the animals in there yet. And everything's secured, kind of brought in from the back, from the outside, so it wouldn't make any sense for an animal to get loose in here.
Something.
I mean, what like a leopard or a lion or something? It's been something got loose out of the zoo.
And you don't know, Reg. You think, pretty large, but not like gigantic creature.
Well, I mean,
animal.
Pretty large for him is probably going to be. I mean, the largest animal in the area in Ohio is mammal-wise is going to be. I mean, as strange as it sounds, as a horse probably, but something that would come in and have claws. I mean, a big dog.
Yeah, probably a little larger than that. Than a dog with sharp, ungroomed
right
nails.
So how far do these things go, Cup? Because I'm still following them. I'll mutter a few things, but I'm still going.
Yep. You get back to the next area where the carpet alternates back to tile, and then you don't see any sign. And even if you go to the next carpeted area, you don't see anything. But the tile goes all the way through toward the back, so it's not that surprising.
Stopped here. It doesn't continue to the carpet. This tells me things.
Do
y'all want me to walk you to the security office? Are you?
Yeah. We should get there at some point. This is we got to see what's on that tape.
You might want to get somebody to come and make sure there's no wild dog hanging about down like a service corridor or something.
Yeah,
you don't want to open a store and have some mad rabid dog running around biting people.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. So let me take you over to James. James is the only one here right now, so I'll take you over to Mr. Nguyen to James, and y'all can talk shop, Ben. Talk security, and if you and Reg, if you're interested in anything on the construction, up at the brunch, I could take you up to meet Herbert Fox as well.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to him.
He's the what do you call them?
They're called foremans.
The foreman, yeah. That was in character. He was asking you.
The gaffer, isn't he?
No, he's not a gaffer. He might be a general contractor. Depends on
Yeah, he's the construction foreman. But yeah, and he's kind of again walking and bringing you along, Lieutenant Colonel, if you're willing to follow him.
Yeah, now that the tracks have disappeared, I've lost a bit of interest in staying down there. So.
Okay. So the security office, it just says security over the top, and it just looks like a storefront to you. Like maybe this could be converted at any moment if they decide that a store could go in here and be a better use of the space. There is a large window in the front where you could display clothing or anything else from the store. The door is a little bit different here. It's not the glass door. They have a solid door up on the security office, and yeah, there you are. Through the window, you did see a guy with his feet kicked up on the desk sitting inside.
What kind of entry system have they got into the security office?
It appears to be unlocked, and it just looks like a regular, lock and key situation.
If you don't mind me saying so, Mr. Spine, if you got a security office, you probably don't want a window looking into it, and you probably want to have like a key card entry to it so that only authorized personnel can get in and out of it. Otherwise, it ain't secure. Security office is not secure. It's a bit crazy, if you ask me.
Yeah, but they've got the tasers. Why would anyone want to go into the security office?
Well, there might be reasons why they might want to disable some of the security cameras if they're wanting to maybe plan some sort of a burglary of one of the stores and that kind of thing. If your security office isn't secure, your store isn't secure.
The look on his face now reminds you of the way he looked when Reg mentioned the fire codes.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, yeah, like, sure, yeah, of course, I thought of that. We have a new system coming in, Ben, maybe in 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, okay. Well, just thought I'd let you know, just so make sure that you got things set up the way you need to have them set up. I know it's important for you and all that.
Yeah, fair enough. Thank you, Ben. That's why I'm giving you the big bucks for this.
Sure.
Appreciate you. Yeah,
In my opinion of Paul is like tanking. Talk.
Poor Paul. I'm not doing him justice.
No, you're fine.
No,
he's a sleazy insurance guy. That's how he comes off.
He really is, and he only knows insurance, and even that's questionable.
He just knows how to make money. That's what he knows.
Yeah. So do you want to go inside the office? It appears to be unlocked.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just a pull handle. Yeah. So once you get inside, you realize that not only were that man's feet kicked up on the desk, he's also sleeping. And right. It's a fat man in a security uniform, has a kind of a silver looking badge on his
I'm going to get out of the way and let the colonel do what she's going to do.
I march in, see this, and just go, wake up, soldier.
Right.
He actually falls backwards out of his chair at the loud yell, and eventually stumbles to his feet and what's going on here? Who are you?
Sleeping on duty.
Oh yeah, well, sorry about that, Lieutenant Colonel. He's like
Colonel.
looking at your stripes.
Are you not paid to keep an eye on this mall?
I'm sorry. Who are you?
Are you still on duty, soldier?
I'm on duty. I'm on duty. I'm the only one here. And he's rubbing his eyes. And Spiner kind of like clicks his tongue and points at the guy who just got up. Yeah, James, give these three whatever they need. They're doing a little kind of private look around with the incident.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's a soldier, sir, ma'am.
Cheryl looks at Paul. It's just like, you cannot run this mall with this level of. Do you not understand operational security, Paul?
Yeah. I just
sleep on duty.
I just got to get back to the brunch. Sorry, Lieutenant Colonel. We'll take care of that. I'm sure this is a one-time deal here. And he kind of skips off back toward the escalator.
She just sort of stares down, that cold gimlet stare at the security guard. It's like daring him to stay sitting. Just like,
yeah. And you all notice now that he's where he was seated. There's this large panel of security feeds. So Ben, this is the kind of CCTV setup that you were asking about earlier, mm-hmm. and all that's connected to a computer screen that's sitting in front of the security officer. What are you looking at? What exactly do you need from me?
We're here to review the security footage for the last while over the time of the accident when your associate, the other security guard, had his accident.
Oh, John Woodford. Yeah, of course. That's wow.
I turned to him, the security guard, and what I'm going to do is kind of put my body between him and Ben.
Okay.
And I'm going to get a little inquisitive. So, how long did you work with the guy?
Oh, I've known John for 6 months. We were together at another mall before this one, but they pay a little better over here.
Sure. And then behind my back, I'm just going to kind of with my hand motion Ben towards the CCTV implements.
He'll kind of slink over to it and sit down in front of the screen.
Yeah, give me a stealth roll, Ben, just to see if he even notices this, because he's still sleepy, you know.
Stealth. I'm not the stealth.
Does he get a bonus die because the security guard is distracted?
Nah, it's not important enough.
No, I unstealthily slink by.
Okay,
Excuse me.
It's the scent of pizza.
He actually doesn't stop you, Ben, but he does notice you. He kind of looks to see. And are you just looking at the feeds right now on the camera, on the screens?
Yeah, I want to look, see what kind of rig they've got here. You know, what the PC is. Is it a fancy down IBM PC 5150, or is it something a little more low tech?
It's a little older than that. You think this is kind of a early '80s kind of setup, but you know, you could really hook any type of cameras into this type of setup. So for CCTV, it's not that surprising that it's not state of the art for the actual workstation.
Yeah. See, is there like a bank of recorders, or is it just one tape recording, like, you know, a few seconds footage?
Oh, I see.
Or is it continuous footage, all that sort of stuff as well? Just to get an idea of how it's all set up.
Yeah, let's say that the way that it hooks into the computer terminal, like it's actually high tech in that you can pull feeds. You don't have to keep switching tapes. It all looks to be linked up to you.
Okay, so I'll start tapping away, searching for the night. What was the date of the night of the accident again?
Well, before you do that, he is in your way. So
have I not managed to slink past him? Right.
You kind of got by him to look at the feeds, but if you actually want to like pull up old stuff, he's at that terminal.
Well, I'll look at the feeds first, then and get an idea of what feeds are coming in just now.
Okay, yeah, well, and you're seeing everything crystal clear. Like, you noticed where security cameras were. You have a good view of the fountain. You have good views of really the whole mall from here.
I'll ask him at night. You've been in this place at night, right? What time do you guys usually get? Do you work round the clock, or do you guys finish off at 10 or 11?
No, we work round the clock, but you know, after 9:30 p.m., we just have one officer on duty.
So you weren't working when he was killed?
Nope, I wasn't here. It was just John. Just John.
What time did you come in to take over the shift?
Yeah, so I came in the next morning. I got here around 7 a.m. and found John.
Oh, so it was you that found the body, yeah? Oh
yeah, tragic thing. Yeah,
must have been awful.
I try not to think about it too much. He told me he thought it was creepy in here at night, and maybe he was hearing some shoddy construction or something. Yeah.
Cheryl is shaking her head over the idea of having just one security guard for a place this big.
Terrible stuff. But yeah, you know, I usually, when I do the night shift, I just sit in here on the computer. So I guess he wanted to stretch his legs, or...
Do you not have to do a walk around every hour?
He like kind of gestures to the terminal, you know, like, we got everything we need right here. There's just one set of eyes.
We saw how well that worked.
You know, one set of eyes becomes 30 when I sit here.
Do you not check the doors?
Oh, well, yeah, we locked down before we come in here. Well, usually two of us on duty at that point around 9 o'clock when the stores would close. They're kind of getting us ready for the way this is going to work.
So did your colleague usually stay in the office as well? Was he also in dereliction of duty?
Yeah, give me I actually think Lieutenant Colonel, he's intimidated by you, generally speaking. Yeah, so give me an intimidate roll.
Okay, let's see.
I shouldn't be too hard. You even have to roll for that?
Yeah, really. I'm imagining this is a pass.
That's a hard success.
Oh, yeah. Boy.
So on the hard success, he just, he's seeing you as being someone who's very direct, so he's not going to have any trouble answering your questions. No, John, he's good at this. Obviously, I'm good too, but John, I mean, he's not careless at all. I don't know how he got himself into trouble. It's just a freak accident, I guess. I don't know. It didn't really make sense to me. I suppose.
So would he normally do a walk around during the night then? Or would it be unusual for him to be outside the security office at night?
He looks to Lieutenant Colonel almost like permission to answer Ben's question. Okay, she nods. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's unusual. It's not my style, but maybe he saw something, although we didn't see anything. Maybe he heard something. I don't know. Maybe he just wanted to take a little break. It gets lonely in here.
Did anything happen in the days leading up to the incident? Any strange noises? Any kids try to break in? Anything of that sort?
Yeah, so usually I tell the officers to stick to the office since there's just one of us. Like I said, we can kind of keep our eyes on the whole place. I don't really know how to describe this to you, Lieutenant Colonel. It's just that the mall's a little bit creepy, and I think when he says this, you all realize it is a little bit cold in the mall. Like it just, not only does it feel like isolated and uninhabited, but it's also chilly. More, malls are always a little bit chilly, but November in Cincinnati, you would think that they'd have a better heating system going, but you're all kind of getting a chill as he talks about the mall being creepy at night. And he continues on, some of the guards, even John, complained about, hearing some little bumps and movements and things in the night, but well, hell, it ain't like we got a ghost here. It is a brand new mall, so I don't know. I don't like it here at night.
It was built on an old graveyard or some sort of mystical native ground or something. I see movies that kind of thing.
I don't think so. But, I wasn't part of the construction or anything, but I think this was just a plot of land. There used to be a neighborhood here. Maybe they cleared out, but I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about it.
But it's good that it's cold in here. Heat's bad for the circuits. You want to keep your computer room cool.
It's like a server room, yeah. Maybe some bums get in here. I don't know. You just kind of hear a little. I don't know exactly how to describe it.
You guys check that everything's locked up. How would a bum get in?
Yeah, just one of us though checking on everything, and that way the damn system's just been acting up. So we hardly get a good feed in here anymore. We got some other people coming in to take a look at the system. I'm not the IT guy or anything like that, but the cameras barely work at all. And you look and they're working perfectly.
So let me get this straight, son. Your cameras aren't working that great, and you still sit in the office all night instead of doing your rounds and doing your duty?
Well, it's a little creepy out there, Lieutenant Colonel.
You want to see creepy, son? I've seen things you wouldn't believe out in the jungle.
Yeah.
This ain't nothing. This ain't nothing, son. You are paid to protect the security of this mall, and sitting in here with a faulty system ain't it.
If I could speak out of turn maybe here, Lieutenant Colonel, have you been hired to replace me by chance? He's real nervous about this now.
If you're not careful,
never know,
she might
son.
be.
You never know, son. You might want to shape up there is all I'm saying.
All right. Okay.
Can I ask you, saying that the systems have been playing up? They seem to be absolutely fine now.
Yeah, it's just whenever we try to pull footage from night shift, I don't know what's going on. It's really weird, actually. I don't know the damnedest thing about, computers, I guess. I don't know.
Well, it sounds like Ben here's a whiz. You ought to let him look at it.
Yeah, what kind of time scale are you talking about? Is there certain times of the day or night that you're seeing these irregularities, or is it just random, erratic? And what specific kind of issues are you seeing? Well, have you considered turning it off and then turning it back on again?
That's the one thing we did try. So it's usually that night shift, 9:30 to, kind of the wee hours of the morning. We just see it acting up. I don't know, some rats got into the wiring or something.
You'd see that all through. If rats were chewing through the wiring, it wouldn't be limited to the nighttime time. So the feed is fine during the day, but you're seeing issues during the night.
Yeah, that's the way I noticed it. I don't know.
You seen any other power issues during the night? Any flickering lights and anything like that? Any problems with the generators, with the power supply into the building, with the lines coming into the building?
Can't say so. Lighting's just fine here in the security office.
So the only thing you're seeing problems with is the video feeds, and that's just happening at night.
That's it.
Okay, well, if you excuse me, I'll just take a look and see if I can isolate what the problem here is for you, and see if I can do something about it.
Okay. He rolls his chair away from the computer, not offering it to you, so you can kind of hunch over and use the computer.
Excuse me, do you have another chair I could use?
Sure, there's one back there. It's not a rolling chair, but there is a desk chair that you can pull
Cheryl
over.
glares at him.
Okay.
Looks like you could do with some exercise, son.
So he does run to get that chair for Ben. Still not offering you the comfy chair.
Let's be honest, Ben. You don't want to sit in that chair anyway.
Yeah, you don't want his primary chair. That's absolutely right. So he kind of tells you, Ben, at least as far as he knows how to pull up old footage, and then he tells you, I guess
I'm already ahead of him as he's telling me. Yeah.
November 8th. That's the night.
November 8th.
Yeah.
November 8th. And nothing during the day on November 8th. It's just no. And did you have the same incident on that night with the issues with the feeds?
Oh yeah. We tried. The police wanted to take a look too. They said the same thing. Just got this faulty computer system. This damn tech. I tell you what. Back in my heyday, we used to just walk around to inspect things. And maybe you're all questioning this since he absolutely refuses to do that.
Well,
Yeah.
computer's only as good as the person that's using it.
Yep.
Tick-tick-tack.
Okay. Yeah. So you're able to find it.
Find that feed and see if I can find what the problem is.
Yeah, and you can kind of fast forward and see what's happening on the feed. You do notice, Ben, that around 2 a.m. think about the best way to describe this. It almost looks to you like the lens of the camera is frosted over. It's just completely obscured, but very like grainy. You can't see anything. And if you slow it down, you're just going to see frost on something that looks like frost on the camera for maybe 7 minutes, something like that.
So just going through the night, I'm just going to go sort of through in chunks of the night. I'm going to look and see if I can see this other security guard, the guy that's now dead.
Yeah.
See if I can see him doing any of his rounds, walking around.
Yep.
Also see if I can see from that night, and maybe have a skip through a couple of nights or sort of previous as well. See if I can see any sign of this dog that we think that might be roaming the mall in the night.
Very good.
As well.
Yeah, so the first thing that you notice is that, kind of looking at that specific night, is that before the camera frosts over, you do see Woodford patrolling, and the lights are working. He doesn't have his flashlight on, but he's carrying it, and he is kind of arriving to the fountain when that camera starts to develop that kind of opaque frost that's forming on the lens, and then it's out for 7 minutes. You just can't see anything. And then when the frost finally fades away, you see Woodford's body. You see the dead body dead next to that newly fallen column, which was intact previously.
So basically, it's just during the period where whatever happened to him happened.
Yeah, bad luck.
Is it the same on more than one camera? Is it just one camera that this frosting's happening on?
So give me a spot hidden roll. I'll see how you're analyzing kind of the series of cameras.
Yeah, I mean, I've got computer use and electronics and that sort of thing as well. So, yeah, spot hidden. That is 69 over
Nice.
50.
Not nice in this case. So you could push that or
Push the roll.
Use 19 luck.
Yes, Rena, I'll push the roll.
Okay.
Right.
It's my job on the streams.
So
tell people.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do then is I'll go behind and I'll check the connections. I'll maybe undo a connection, redo the connection.
Yeah.
Go through go through a bit of the see if I can find a bit of the code behind the actual the stream as well. See if I can see any anomalies in that.
Sure.
And then review it again. Maybe bang the side of the video.
Yeah, maybe you can actually like write your own script to kind of go from camera to camera for a certain time period.
This software's terrible. I'll fix this. I'll give that a push roll.
Okay. Ooh, barely.
Yeah, that's a success.
You got it. All right.
Yeah.
So what you're noticing is that camera that Nguyen instructed you to pull up is not the only one that has this kind of frozen looking coating over the lens of it. It's really kind of all of them on the first level are developing this frost, but it's not simultaneous. It's staggered. It's almost like it's
follow a specific path.
Yeah, it's almost like it's happening in a sequence. So as you start kind of at the security office end of the floor and progress down toward that the main area with the fountain and the gazebo, they kind of frost over. Looks like one at a time, but areas that are covered by multiple cameras are more frosting up at the same time.
So the other thing I wanted to do then was just see if I can tell from analyzing the software that's used to run these cameras as well, and that whether this frosting is something physical that's happening to the cameras,
okay,
or whether it is something faulty in the code or faulty in the electronic side of it that's perhaps causing this.
Okay, I'll take either electronics or computer use for this, whichever's better for you.
Okay, computer use is better for me.
Okay.
That's a fail, but I'll spend 4 points of luck to make it.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, so you succeed, and as you're looking at this, and have you said anything about the frosting out loud yet, or no? You're just kind of analyzing
I haven't.
it.
No. I'm plugged into this computer.
Okay.
I've forgotten that there's anyone else in the room.
Okay, good. That makes sense. So you believe this is physical. It does not look to you like it's a software glitch or anything like that. And the fact that it's happening one at a time is very strange for you. So you do believe that. You're not sure. Like I said, it looks like frost to you. You're not sure, but it does seem like something is physically developing on the lens.
So what I'm thinking is maybe someone is going along with a kind of spray of some kind, and they're spraying from an angle that the camera can't see them. They're spraying up. And it's frosting over the lens, and then they're walking along to the next bit, and then they're spraying up to frost the next lens over. And maybe the spray has only got a certain amount of lifetime on it before it kind of dissipates and the lens clears up again.
Okay, good. Give me an idea roll to see, like, as you kind of test this hypothesis with yourself, whether this holds up for you.
Yeah, no, of course it doesn't. What is that? 36 is an idea roll for me, yes.
Okay, yeah, so that makes sense, right? Kind of like a can of silly string, but it sprays this frost substance. But then as you start to kind of poke around and maybe you look at a couple of other nights to see what's going on, this happens every night. So this frosting over. So if someone was spraying the lens with a substance, they're doing it every night.
Yeah. At the same time every night or at different times?
Very, very similar times. Not identical times, but it's similar for sure.
Around 2 a.m.
2 a.m., yeah. And throughout the night, really, until, maybe an hour before sunrise.
Oh, so it happens repeatedly? Or
Yeah, it does.
Okay. But it happens more on the lower level than the upper level?
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
Right. Okay. All right, so I guess I'm plugging away doing that for a wee while before I can actually come up with any findings.
Okay, and as you are kind of looking through the security screens, so Nguyen has started to kind of look over your shoulder. With that, let's take a 10-minute break. Welcome back to Stalker in the Moonlit Mall, a convention scenario from Chaosium. We're doing some deep investigation by my standards, as you know. So everybody's doing great so far. Michael, do you want to plug your new announcement one more time?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Always Podcast announced today that it is going to debut Horror on the Orient Express in 2021. We have 5 investigative prelude episodes that will come out through the month of January every Wednesday. You can find us on patreon.com/theoldwayspodcast if you'd like to support us, or maybe even have a hand in the pits and pitfalls for our investigators. We are offering that as a backer level as well. Plus, there's a current promo for new T-shirts and new swag based off of our Horror on the Order of Smith logo.
All right, lovely. And everybody just saw the trailer for that, hopefully, and
I hope so.
It looked like it came through on my end. So exciting, good stuff. Yeah, it was fortuitous. We all got together today, so very nice. It almost seems like we intentionally planned something, but we didn't.
No. I got the call a couple of hours before.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, are you doing it? You want to do a thing? Sure.
That's how we do things. So I think when we last left you, Ben, you were kind of learning everything about this system and going through security tapes. And you, Reg, you were, what were you doing? You were kind of observing and thinking through the situation?
Yeah, I'm probably just going through the situation, and probably at some point while the security officer and Ben are huddled around either the front or the back of this massive CCTV display, I'd probably turn to the Colonel and say, what we're going to need to do, Colonel, is we're going to need to figure out what actually happens at night here. So either it's a heating and cooling thing that's flashing over this camera, or something's appearing, or something is happening every night. We have to be here to see when it happens.
Cheryl gets a bit of a gleam in her eye, like, yes, of course. And she turns and looks at the security guard and says, we're going to be staying here overnight.
Oh, yeah, that sounds great. He's super excited.
We're going to see if we can fix the problem you couldn't see.
Oh, well, yeah, I'll be here tonight, so I can like lead the posse.
Oh, that's very encouraging.
If we're gonna stay, he just kind of looks up from the keyboard from it. If we're gonna stay here overnight, I'm gonna need to call my mom, let her know I won't be home.
You do that, son. Very important to stay in contact with your parents.
Yeah, well, she'll be wondering if I'm not there in time for my tea. She'll be wondering where I am.
Is your mom English by any chance, son?
Shut up. She's from lots of different places.
Mostly Kent.
You got to be home for soda time in the U.S. Or maybe pop time in the Midwest.
Tea, supper, dinner, whatever it is you call it.
So Cheryl fixes him, like the security guard, with just sort of look that very clearly informs him he's not going to be leading anything. He's like, we'll solve your problem for you. And she looks back at Reggie and Ben. So, what do you need?
All right. He's trying to talk, but you're ignoring him.
We're going to have to talk to the builder, the general contractor, foreman, whoever is here from Paul's side. We have to know more about the construction of this place.
I've been looking at this footage, and it looks like there is some sort of issue with the actual hardware, with the physical hardware of the cameras. I'm going to need some step ladders or something to go and take a look at them. Just make sure the feeds are coming through properly and there's no corrosion of the lens or anything like that. It's it's something quite strange that's happening with them. It's not an issue with the system here. It's an issue with the actual cameras themselves. So, do you know where the cameras were purchased?
That seems like something I ought to know. Let me see if I can find it back in my files. I do know where you can get a ladder, though. We do have a maintenance closet right in our office here.
Okay, yeah. That would be good.
Perfect. I go grab a ladder.
Yeah, so
I have to see you know something, son.
Are there any other associated tools in there, Cup?
I'm in the actual maintenance closet. What kind of stuff are you looking for?
Probably pretty simple stuff. Screwdrivers.
Oh yeah, there's a toolbox for sure.
That.
Yep.
Yeah, I grab that as well.
Okay.
I acquire their tools.
Okay. Very good. And he's been instructed to kind of let you have free reign, so he's not trying to stop you from any of this.
Yeah. I grab the ladder and some tools and come back out to Ben and say, "Let's go."
Okay. And in a stroke of luck, there's a knock at the door, and Paul Spiner doesn't wait for anyone to answer. He just kind of announces himself with a knock, opens the door, and peeks in. Everything good in here?
Yeah, we're getting
Yes.
it. Yep. We're on it.
We're going to do a reconnoiter and spend the night in this place, I think.
And Officer Nguyen pipes in. Yeah, we're gonna do a little stakeout tonight, and I'm gonna kind of show him around, and it's gonna be pretty fun.
Yeah,
Fun
sure.
is not part of this operation, son.
Mr. Spinner, do you know if there's been any power surges, any power spikes over the last while during the hours of darkness?
You know anything about that, Herbert? And he kind of looks over his right shoulder, and you see this other guy kind of shove his way into the office. Yeah, my apologies. I brought Herbert Fox down here. He's the construction foreman, so he knows just about everything that goes on in this mall within the keeper's realm of knowledge. And he can answer any questions you have. I see you've already got a ladder there. So and Herbert Fox, he steps in. He's wearing all plaid, and he has cargo pants, and he's holding a bottle of Bud Light. So you can tell it's a very professional operation that's being run here.
Hi, Herbert. I step forward.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing there?
Good. Reggie Dunlop. Good to meet you.
Reg.
So
okay.
listen, I'm a civil engineer, probably much like yourself, and I have a couple of questions here about your gazebo setup.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. What is it?
So, how long do you figure that concrete had been up before it broke?
Ooh, when did we pour that? It had been probably 3 months, I think, since the gazebo was complete.
So well beyond the 28-day cure period.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And have you noticed any irregularities in any of the heating or cooling in that area of the mall? Has anybody else noticed, by the way, the mall's a little cold?
It's damn cold in here. I've noticed it. We can't figure the damn thing out. I mean, I'm not an HVAC specialist per se, but it's always cold in this damn place. And we brought in the HVAC guys, and they can't figure anything out either.
I might want to take a look at that system, but like the colonel here says, we're going to have to stay over at the night and figure out specifically what's happened. We've found some irregularities with the camera system, so we'll have to take a look at that. That's what the ladder and toolbox is for.
Oh, okay. I'm glad to hear you're not tearing down the gazebo or nothing. We're gonna fix that up probably within the week, I would think. Couldn't really access it with all the investigating going on.
Does he actually air quote that?
He did.
I raised an eyebrow. There were investigators here, though, right?
Oh yeah, cops around here don't know shit. It wasn't my gazebo, I'll tell you that. That thing's sturdy as a bull.
It was.
Well, it was. Yeah, I agree with that.
All right then. Anything else about the mall that's turned up strange, or maybe during the construction that didn't go to plan?
Yeah, this has been a different kind of site for us. That we basically took out a neighborhood. They bought up all these homes and tore them out. So I'm used to just getting a kind of a fresh swath of land to work with here. But I wasn't actually overseeing it at that time, and I took over kind of as the mall neared completion. But we had all this crap from these homes kind of come through here, and I don't know. It was just a little bit weird for me to be replacing a neighborhood is all. But I don't know if there's anything like that would make it cold. That don't make any sense.
Why were the houses being demolished? Were they unsafe or something? Or
nope, they was just in the way. I think most of them are real old homes. Kind of. I don't want to say historic homes because it makes it sound like we did something unscrupulous. But they were old homes, around the suburbs here.
We'll leave all the unscrupulousness to Paul.
Spider's like, yes, everything was on the up and up. I assure you everyone was compensated fairly.
Oh, yeah, so you bought out all the residents in the area and then demolished the houses and rehoused them, yeah?
Oh, yeah, I mean, there were some beautiful homes they took out. We got all these antique objects coming through. Not my specialty, just direct those straight along to the Historical Society.
And is there anyone who, even with fair compensation, who might have a grudge, wish your mall to fail as the result of having to sell their home?
I didn't see anything like that. Paul? No, everyone was thrilled. I mean, at first they were obviously reluctant to sell their houses to to us, the developer, but we paid well above market value for those homes.
So there's nobody disgruntled about losing their family home and having to move out somewhere they didn't want to live. Maybe want to cause some trouble with the mall. Maybe ruin the great opening ceremony and things got a bit out of hand.
Oh well, I'm not a biographer. I don't know exactly what they were feeling, but I didn't get that kind of vibe from anybody. Ben. Ben's like, fuck you.
I love it.
Yeah, and then the one thing I will say, Reg, you know this trade. Give me a psychology roll to see if you picked up anything interesting from the foreman here.
Again, just like navigate, psychology, one of my highest skills. But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm actually a professional psychologist.
Mm-hmm.
56. No, I guess I don't get anything too deep.
Okay. And that's fine. So yeah, you just noticed that he's he doesn't seem to know his stuff that well. The way he's kind of describing everything to you, you would expect someone like this to jump into technical talk with a person like you. Although he doesn't know you that well either. So.
Okay.
You're just the guy with a ladder.
Yeah.
As far
just
as
the guy with the ladder.
Yeah. Yeah, and don't worry about these neighborhoods. They half the people didn't even claim their stuff that came through here. We tore down these houses and found it was almost like an archaeological dig. We found all this cool stuff. I didn't keep any of it. Donated everything to the city. We're always trying to give back. But all this.
Mm-hmm.
So what like antique stuff? Valuable?
Yeah, just antique furniture, stuff abandoned by estates where people had died. There was one house that only had a painting in it. The frame was kind of nailed to the wall. Like old farmhouses, things like that. But just
left. They just left without taking the things.
Yeah, just a few things left behind. We did find this old beat up book, German book, something like that. Anyway, sent that all to the historical archives. Old ass book.
Strange for people to leave such things behind without claiming them.
So how many other malls have you done?
This is only my second mall. I've done a lot of other developing. Of course,
sure.
we had the mall in Toledo as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, beautiful mall, right? You know that one.
I'm a connoisseur of malls.
Give me a psychology roll for Cheryl on these strange mentioning of the antiques.
Okay.
That ancient German tome is no way connected to the weird things that are happening here. No, sir.
Oh, not even close.
Okay.
78.
Yeah, so you just have to take that at its face value. Although, remember, his appearance was kind of questionable. So you just noticed that just generally, he's just fidgety, kind of not himself.
Mm-hmm.
I would say.
And you're sure you didn't keep anything?
No, I wouldn't do that. I'm so rich. Why would I need any of that stuff?
Let me ask you something. Do you have an original mapping of the houses that used to sit here on this plot? From the excavation and recovering, I would imagine to be on record.
Do you have anything like that, Fox? And he looks over to the foreman. Nope, can't say I got anything like that. And then Paul looks at you and says, "Well, maybe at the historical society they'd have something like that." I mean, she was very interested in all the houses that we had to destroy.
Maybe we stop over there before and then come back.
Well,
there could be some relevance.
We're opening tomorrow. I don't know.
We're going to be spending the night here, Paul. We have to go and pick up, change of clothes, not exactly dressed for this sort of bivouac out here. That sort of thing. Might as well stop in on our way.
Sure thing.
I'm okay. I just need to make a phone call.
Yeah, Yeah, you can make a phone call from right here in the security office. That's fine, Ben.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. Excuse me one moment, man.
His mom's going to pick up the phone. You're calling from the security office? What did you do?
Yeah, exactly. I'll be there in 10 minutes.
Right. All right. Put him on the phone.
My height.
Operator.
Yeah.
Make a collect call.
Yeah, what can I do for you?
Who are you and what are you doing at my mom's house?
Your mom's away from the phone right now.
Let's not talk about it, honey.
Are you the carer?
Yeah, the new one. What do you want?
Can you tell my mom that Benji says he won't be home? He's got to work tonight. But I'll be back in the morning, and she's not to wait up for me, and she's not to worry. I'm okay. I'm just got to work tonight.
Yeah, sure, whatever, hun. You hear like the sound of like bubble gum popping.
Thank you very much. And don't forget, not too much salt in the food. It's not good for her.
Whatever.
And with that, Paul gestures to the foreman, just kind of gives him a little head shake, like, let's get out of here. Get back to the Bud Lights upstairs at the brunch. And, if you're going to be hanging out all night, you can do whatever you'd want. I'd say, leave the cages alone. If you need something, come get me. I can unlock something for you. But I guess make yourselves at home as much as you can.
All right. Let's go check that camera, Ben.
All right. So you leave the security office with your ladder. And as you leave, Officer Nguyen says, I'll be right here. So whenever you're ready for us to start this little mission tonight, just come get me.
Oh, Nguyen,
It
question.
might be a long wait, son. Might be a long wait.
Just in case, while we're around tonight, your partner, he probably had a set of keys, right?
Yeah, we all got... We've all got keys.
Why don't you give the colonel your key ring, just in case if we're on patrol and we need to get into something?
Okay. He looks at the colonel. I'm going to let that
be
intimidate
safe.
roll ride the whole game. So if she looks like she wants it, he is going to hand that over.
Good job, son. First smart thing you've done all day.
All right. So he hands over the key ring, kind of the master keys. And then y'all leave with the ladder. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll go check out the camera.
Okay.
Just before we go, say, you got anything like a cotton bud or anything like that? I was just thinking, in case I need to take any sample off the lens of the camera to get an analysis of it.
I've got some Kleenex.
Yeah, that'd do, I guess.
Okay. There's like a box of tissues right in front of you. He just pulls one out and hands it to you. Do you want the whole box?
Yeah, I mean,
they're new. They're not like, it's not like a waste bin of tissues.
You got anything I can like a glass or anything I can put this into?
That's not what I'm worried about.
That's not what I was worried about either.
He gives you the coffee mug that he was. Oh my gosh, I'm so naive. Jesus. It's right next to the Jergens.
Yeah. Well, listen. Long nights. What are you going to do?
He gives Ben the coffee mug that he's probably been drinking out of as something to put it in.
Okay.
Is that good?
Yeah. I guess it'll do, I guess. Kind of shrugs and thinks this is going to be useless.
Okay. You actually, on your way out of the office, you see there's a little water cooler there that has those little cups.
I'll just put the mug down and get one.
You can take one of those little cone cups from there.
Wash your hands, maybe.
Yeah, screw up the Kleenex into something that I can actually see if I can scrape. If there's anything deposited on the lens.
Okay.
Camera.
Yeah, maybe you let Cheryl do that with her rubber gloves, and then she gives you like the fifth one down.
Okay.
And now you're out into the mall again. What would you like to do? You're not far from the fountain.
Yeah, I think maybe we just try the cameras around the fountain first and to see them, and then take it from there.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. So you're just setting up the ladder and going up to take a look at the lens itself?
Yeah.
Who's doing that? Is it Ben or Reg?
I mean, I'd probably do it.
Okay.
So,
So,
while
well,
they're-
I mean, I think I'd better go up unless you understand how these cameras operate and the way the video feed is secured into them.
I guess I'd ask a question for Keeper is this an engineering role or is this a computer role?
It's actually, you don't need a roll for this. It's going to be obvious.
No, I just mean for cameras in general.
Oh,
the way you
okay.
play it,
I would
how
say
you feel it would run.
Electronics, maybe, or
electronics is probably the best one, followed by computer use.
Then it's probably him I let go up
Okay.
because he's definitely more invested in that area than I am.
Right. Okay, so Ben goes up. He's a little guy, so you don't even need to hold the ladder, really.
Well, no, I don't go up unless somebody holds the ladder.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm going to hold the ladder because
Somebody has
that's what
been crushed to death by a falling pillar in this shopping mall. I'm
that's
not
what-
going up a ladder without
That's
somebody
fair.
putting it.
That's
Yeah.
what OSHA safety training would require me to hold the ladder.
Oh, good point.
Probably
Good point.
should have like a safety helmet and all that sort of stuff.
You should.
So Ben scoots up the ladder, and you could just examine the whole thing. And there's not much to it because these don't have a lot of buttons or anything. It's just a CCTV camera. The lens looks perfect to you. You don't see. There's no frost. The body's a little bit cold just because the mall's cold, but you don't see any condensation or liquid or even weathering where maybe if it had frost that had melted off, it might leave something, some kind of residue.
I'm gonna reach into my pocket and take out a couple of little jeweler's screwdrivers. And I'm just gonna start to take the casing off the camera and take a look actually inside the gubbins inside the electronics, the circuit board of the camera itself, and just make sure that I can't see any like fried out circuits or any deposits or anything like that on the circuit board.
Okay, this is what you do, Ben. So I'm not going to ask you to roll for it. I'll let you kind of take the outer shell off of this camera, take a look. Everything looks normal with the hardware to you. All the wiring looks to be intact. You don't see any wear and tear. These look like new cameras to you. To be honest, these aren't something they bought secondhand from another mall. This is a new system as far as
Are
you can tell.
the actual model of the camera? Are they good quality ones as well? Yeah, they're not sort of cheap knockoff ones.
You think so? This is kind of what all the malls are putting in these days. Not quite Sony, but mall grade. Panasonic, something like that.
Panasonic's a good brand,
Yeah.
especially mid '80s. That's a solid.
Oh, that's
brand.
true. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll reassemble it then, and come down and say, that one looks good. Let's try that one over there.
Okay. Yeah, you can kind of continue this around the whole circuit, and they all look great to you. You don't see any condensation. You don't see any signs of water damage. And Reg,
Any tampering, like anybody's physically tampered with them or anything like that.
nope, they don't look tampered with at all. And they're actually a little high up. One of you suggested that maybe someone sprayed them. They're probably too high in the air for that to have happened. Is one thing that you notice. And I think
as I look around as well, I think, well, actually, if you'd stood and sprayed that one there would probably have caught you. So that doesn't really match anyway. But it does seem like somehow it's following some sort of a path of first one, then another, then another, then another. So maybe like Reggie suggested, there's maybe something in the air conditioning that's it's making them cold, but they've not got any condensation, so that seems unlikely now. So he's kind of scratching his head trying to puzzle out because it doesn't actually seem to add up.
right.
That's really what I would be looking at while I'm holding the ladder is over the position of these cameras. Where are the vents? Where are are there anything that could change the temperature drastically enough to potentially cause an issue with the lens?
Right. Maybe. I mean, there's a lot of ventilation here, but Reg, and based on what you said earlier too about the HVAC, why don't you give me it could be an engineering or an idea roll, whatever's better for you.
Oh, it's definitely going to be engineering. But not with that roll.
Ooh, 91. Okay.
91. But I'm going to push that roll because engineering is my thing. And we'll see what happens.
Ooh,
Yes, I like that.
crit. Okay.
Wow.
You built this
Wow.
HVAC system.
It's got your name on it.
It does.
So you know that really everything you've heard to this point, and everything that you've thought might be happening is bullshit, because with the HVAC system, if there's frost and it truly was frost developing on the lenses, it doesn't make any sense, Reg, that it would happen in a sequence the way Ben described it to you. It would all happen at once. And it's not like the HVAC system kicks on in one area of the mall and then goes to the next and then goes to the next. It would probably be consistent throughout the first floor of the mall.
Right.
So they should all frost at the same time, you would imagine.
Yeah. I mean, it could vary a little bit location,
Sure.
depending upon how their system's set up, but it wouldn't vary. It wouldn't work like that.
Right.
So as he continues to work with the camera and look around, I just keep probably tapping my foot subconsciously, like, and shake my head. None of this makes any sense. It's got to be something else.
And you hear a voice from behind you. Yes, that's why I brought you here. Yeah, good observation, Reg. And Spiner's now hanging around after having dropped the foreman off back at the brunch. Now he has a Bud Light.
So while they're doing the tech geek stuff, which Cheryl would have absolutely no interest in, could I have suggested to Reggie that because I would want to go back to my place and get my surveillance gear and things like that, and then I could stop by the Historical Society just for a quick chat on the way back, so we don't all have to go and come back.
Okay.
Like,
is that how everybody wants to do it?
Yeah, it's fine with me.
So y'all can do your tech whatsits, and I'll go do the things I'm good at. Get us some weaponry just in case someone's breaking in, and that's what's going on. Get us some MREs. Keep up our strength.
Is it like the meatloaf? What kind?
No, I've had MREs. I'd probably hustle. I would have hustled out of that room if she talked about eating MREs.
Maybe you can find a pretzel in the mall.
Make you strong.
Those are post-nom MREs. They're going to be pretty bad.
Yeah.
That's right. I've got a packet of Pro Plus. I'll be fine.
So before the Colonel scoots to get some stuff and check out the historical archives, is there anything else you'd like to do from a technical perspective in the mall, or non-technical?
I can't really think of much else. I guess I'd look at, much like Ben had suggested, I'd look at where the cameras view, how many views we have of the gazebo. The thing is the way this is set up, this is their Galleria there at the food court at the bottom. And just by the mapping, it's got the most restaurants. Yep. It's the focal point of the mall. So we're going to have probably the most views of this area because this is where people are going to congregate.
Right.
If we continue to have, if they continue to have these issues with the cameras, if it's not an electrical issue, and if it's not an HVAC issue, it is definitely something that we can't yet explain. So,
what I'd like to do as well is go back and look at some more previous days of footage and see if I can find any other points where the security guard is walking around and the lens mists up or fogs up or frosts up or whatever it is.
Good.
While he's in view of it.
It's a good idea, but unfortunately you don't see any other anomalies. This looks to you like the only time that the night shift officer left the security office. You do see them kind of changing shifts and locking up stores and things like that once the people started training inside the stores, but you're really not seeing many patrols. Mm-hmm. You're guessing everyone kind of stays glued to that desk.
And I'm not seeing any sign of that, anything that might have made those scratches either in the carpet.
Nope, you sure don't.
Is it possible to go back several nights, one at a time, and can I enlarge and enhance in Blade Runner style that area of the carpet where the scratches are, to see if I can see a point where the scratches weren't there and then were there.
Okay.
When they were made.
Let me. That's tough for 1988, but with the resolution, I imagine. But let me
do it in the movies.
Let me get a computer use or electronics roll, whichever's better for you.
Absolutely, yeah. It's, so that's going to be computer use is going to be a bit better for me.
Ooh.
And that is
Nice.
10. That is an extreme success.
I love the way 10 looks like 100, kind of. It makes you feel like it, you know. So yeah, I think did you say extreme?
That's an extreme.
Okay. On extreme success, so you're kind of trying to, you know, zoom in. You've actually written a little script because it's not easy to zoom these in, and obviously it obscures things a little bit more.
Clear out the image and
Yeah, it's like the TV show quality stuff you're doing here. So with the extreme. So when you kind of,
I'm not looking for. I'm looking to see where there's like a dark groove there.
Right.
I'm aware that the resolution isn't going to be sufficient to see scratches per se, but just looking for where I can see a difference between one and the other.
Well, there's good news and bad news. So the bad news is those scratches are too fine, too small to be able to pick up from the security cameras. But as you're kind of fooling with all this, one thing you do see is that when the lenses are frosted over, now that you have this enhanced view, you think you see, it's almost like a shadow moving across the lens. So it just gets a little bit darker. You're not even sure if there's anything quite happening or if it's a trick of the frost.
Almost, or something like that.
Yeah, but you almost think you see some kind of background movement on those frosty lenses.
Okay. So given that, I'll focus my attention then on the point that the camera got the best view of the security guard.
Okay.
In those 7 minutes where, you know, just to see if I can see the any kind of blurry image of the thing falling on him and that kind of thing. If there's anything else around as well.
Okay. Yeah. So during that particular window, you can't distinguish what anything is. So you don't know if it's a pillar falling. You don't know if it's something walking past the camera. You just see like a little movement, like a little dark smudge in the frost. But you don't know if it's the officer. You don't, you know, it's hard to tell. Yeah.
Could be anything really. Yeah. But could even be distortion on the image potentially.
Right. So good. Yeah. So as you look at that footage and as Reg, I don't know, you're like tapping on walls and things, kind of doing your own further examination.
He's probably doing a lot of sight lines and making sure that like the railings here are fit properly, especially if we're talking about concrete falling.
And you did ask about the positioning of the cameras. So you do notice that you'd probably have 2 really good views of what happened. And there are other cameras around too that could get tertiary views and things like that. So it should have been picked up, but the frost or whatever it is, unfortunately. And then we'll cut to Cheryl, the Colonel. So what are you picking up? Or are you going to so you could ask Spiner where the archive is, if that's where you're going.
Yeah. So I would want to figure out if it's close to where I live, like, so I could go there on the way to my place or on the way back. So
it's very close to the mall because they serve this historical district. So it's not that close to where you live, but it is close to the mall.
Okay. So I would go there first before going back to my place then, because I want to make sure I get there before they close. Okay.
Perfect. So you're visiting the historical archive, and Paul gave, he's not good at it much, but he gave you good directions to the Brighton historical archives, and you see a little wooden sign out front that indicates that it's exactly that. And it's a really nice 2-story historic home, just a few minutes from the mall, and it looks exactly like what you'd expect. They just repurposed an old house to serve as the historical archives.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm gonna walk on in. Just like look around, see if anyone's here.
Yeah, so it immediately strikes you that this place is a disaster. It's a mess, like scattered books and photographs and newspaper clippings, and there's some books kind of spread out across bookshelves, and even a cursory look at them makes you think that the books aren't organized. And I'm so glad that you're a colonel walking into this, because you should probably roll sanity check.
Cheryl's hands are just doing this unconsciously, just like
And this woman wearing wide brimmed glasses peeks up from a desk kind of in the center of the room. Oh, hello. May I help you?
Yes. Hello. I'm
glasses up.
I'm here Cheryl just is trying very, very hard not to look at the mess around her. He's like, I'm here on behalf of Mr. Spinner.
Are you lost?
No, I've come to look at a few things that he said he sent over from the mall. There was an old German book he mentioned, and a picture or something.
Okay.
Can you help me?
Can you be more specific? A picture?
It had been nailed into the wall. Can't imagine you had many of those here.
Okay. I don't remember anything coming through that had been nailed to the wall. Is it... Are you sure it's not still nailed to the wall?
It might be.
Okay. And the
but
book?
Can you tell me definitively?
Okay. I don't know, but we do have many books. I can help you with the books, perhaps.
Old German book.
Old German book. Yes. Let me... Yeah, there were maybe 3 books that came through from the mall. They sent us so much stuff, I haven't had a chance to organize it yet. And she gestures to the whole place, really.
When was the last time you did organize? 1953?
Well, I don't know if that's necessary. And she kind of huffs off. You know, she has a lot of exuberance. She's excited that someone's visiting her, but she didn't appreciate the slight. But
Cheryl's just like...
And she's rummaging through bookshelves and apologizing kind of as she does. I'm sorry, it's a bit of a mess right now. It's a bit disorganized. Everything's kind of a jumble. And she almost like has to look through her entire collection to come across any, you know, she's kind of calling them mall books. I know we have some mall books in here somewhere. Yeah, I'm big on the air quotes today.
Mall books.
Mall books. Is there anything else? Would you like a glass of water?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Sure. I'm sure it's under a book somewhere.
Sandwich.
Oh dear. And eventually she does find something. Oh goodness, here it is. And she picks it up and she's very excited and kind of doesn't quite skip, but she walks with a pep in her step back to. Well, are you like lurching over her? Where are you while she's doing this?
I've followed as much as I'm allowed to do so in this space. I'm mindful of boundaries in a place that isn't mine, but also intently watching.
Okay. And she extends her hand and shows you a book, and you can see on the binding, and I'm going to apologize in advance to our German listeners if we have any.
Oh Lord.
It's called Unispree-like Colton. Not good.
I don't speak German, so
you can only assume it's bad then.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it as many times as I can. Unispree-like Colton.
Oh dear. Well, I'll gingerly take the book.
Oh, do be careful. And it's sticky. The book is sticky. It's kind of crumbling, so you do want to be fairly delicate with it. The pages are yellowed, and you see fingerprints all over it. So this is not a book that has not been perused before. I haven't had a chance to take a look through it myself, but yes, are you a historian? And she looks at your uniform suspiciously.
Of sorts. And just like deep stare, challenging her to say anything else. Of sorts. You
Okay.
Understand.
All right, so as you're kind of delicately thumbing, she just nods at you, confused.
Scared of you.
As you're thumbing through the book, Rena, I would invite you to take a look at handout number 2.
Ooh. Fancy.
It's up to you two. As you're on the sidelines, I welcome you to look at this as well.
No, it's fine.
It can save us time later. But if she wants to keep it a secret.
She may not survive to show it to us. So.
Oh, that's true. Better not to know. So,
Okay.
yeah, and I've showed this in very large font to the audience following along. Do you want to read it out loud?
Would you like me to?
Yeah, that'd
for
be
the
great.
Benefit of the recording.
Sure.
Okay. Oh boy, I'm gonna have trouble with the German too. I shouldn't have laughed at you so hard.
Just start at Papa.
Okay. Papa is so worried about strange things these days. He is always saying that he feels something deep underground and that he talks to it. I don't like the sound of that. It seems that this book has gotten to his head. I've never read it, and from what I've heard, I don't plan to. Please take good care of it at your house. I understand that it is centuries old. Thank you, Hannah Ulbricht.
And this is a note that fell out from the pages. Cheryl thumbed through this book. Okay. And you have the letter from Hannah Ulbricht.
So I look at the book. Does anything else fall out? Are there any interesting notations in the margins? Anything I see as I delicately flip through?
Yeah, you see this at one of the chapter conclusions. There's this phonetic translation of, it looks like ancient runes to you. So that's something that stands out as you thumb through this book. And that's handout 3. So you're cruising through the handouts now.
I'm efficient.
And I'm showing this to the viewers as well. So just, ancient runes with some kind of English translation associated, right? All right.
Interesting.
Is it what you were looking for?
Yes, thank you. I will bring this back later. And I just tuck it under my arm and walk out.
Okay. And as you read as you read through the book, is there do you have any German skill?
No.
Okay. In that case, I will say that you do see some things scribbled into the margins of the book in English that were written maybe by Hans Ulbricht, who was indicated in that note. It looks like, and they're a bit disturbing. It looks like they were trying to figure something out from this book. The notes basically look like they're trying to repel something or transform something. It's almost like magic what they're writing about in here. And you see the name. Oh, another thing I can butcher. Ithaqa. Ithaqa, Ithaqua, is written several times in the margins, kind of sometimes with English, sometimes with German.
Ithaqua, I think, is the possibly the usual pronunciation.
Well, I just sort of shake my head at this, silly nonsense, and tuck the book under my arm because I don't believe in this nonsense.
Ithaca, that's in New York.
Well, this book is a wealth of information, Rena. So Cheryl, as she starts to tuck the book away, notices that the back cover doesn't close all the way. It's like there's something attached to the back cover that's impeding it from closing fully.
So I'm sitting in my car at this point because I wanted to get away from the strange lady in the very messy building. So
she's the strange lady.
So I'm perfectly sane, thank you. So I pull up in the back to see what's preventing it from closing.
Okay, you do see a small golden key that's secured to not the back page, but the side opposite of the actual book cover itself. And there's a note written in the margin of the very last page that you're now looking at that says, I was trying to think of a less overt way to say this, but it basically says it's references to more notes in the chest in the basement. But you've actually seen this throughout the book. There are just like cross references to more notes.
The thing is, Cup, I'm not sure Cheryl would do anything about that.
That's fine. You don't have to. Yeah.
Because she's seen this book and she thought maybe, there'd be something interesting because Paul referenced it so many times. But it's just like, it's just this silly magic voodoo hoodoo nonsense. Like, no, this was a waste of time.
Okay.
So I will take the key out of the back and stick it in my pocket just to get the book to close properly. Okay. But it's like, no, this is enough.
Mata, are you taking the book with you?
I'm already in my car.
Oh, you left already.
Yeah, I told her thank you, and I tucked the book under my arm and I walked out because I didn't want her to stop me.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Gotta keep up with Rena.
Okay. Yeah, no. I thought you had intentionally, but I didn't know you already pinched it. All right. Very good.
Yeah.
All right, so you're
I'm with the U.S. military.
You're out at the
National
car then.
security.
Okay.
Right.
She runs out the front door. And maybe you're already driving away. Bring it back within 2 weeks, please. It could be valuable.
Fine.
Yeah.
We'll get it back if we determine it's not vital to national security, ma'am.
He gives a forlorn look at her stamp. Oh,
No,
maybe
fine.
next time. Puts it back up.
Yeah.
So I'll keep the book with me, and I'm just gonna drive back home quickly because I said I was going to, and I'm gonna pick up my weapon.
Okay.
So my 38.
Oh boy.
Very clearly, I have a gun.
Okay.
Just so that there's no surprises.
Make
there may be
sure.
surprises anyway.
Just make sure you know the damage for that gun. Or
I do.
Okay. This was pre-planned, is what she's saying.
It's a D10. So I pick up my 38 spare ammo because I don't know what's going on, and if it's potentially dangerous because somebody already died. Grab some on the go food. Change into my fatigues, like very happy, kind of like yes, back on the field.
Oh sure.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yes. And get some flashlights, all sorts of things before I head back to the mall.
Okay.
I'm seeing a very pitch perfect 80s montage gear up scene from
Yes.
John Rambo. Like
Yes.
she comes back with a bow and a few
Right.
Face paint.
I love that. Yeah.
Bazooka.
Well, I mean, it is going to be a dark mall, and I want to blend into the shadows, so
Sure. Are
I
you
bring extra face paint for the boys.
Are you?
Surely there must be a shop in the mall that sells face paint.
Yeah, Claire's.
But not military grade face paint.
Right.
Are you going to bring the book to the mall with you, or are you leaving that at
Yes,
home?
I'm bringing the book.
Okay.
I went through all this trouble to get it, and I don't want to forget it at home.
Okay. No, that's fair. So you return to the mall with the book, and I would say, you're the colonel, so you probably did make good time, but it is getting. That depends what you want to do. We could accelerate to more closer to investigation time when the mall closes, if you'd like, or if there are more things you have to do while Spiner's available, we can do that as well. It's up to all three of you, really.
I mean, the only thing I'm really interested in is getting some food because I'm getting quite hungry.
Here come
And
the
I think
MREs.
Hopefully there'll still be some food upstairs at the buffet that we can sort of stuff into a doggy bag and say, right, okay, there's some food for us for the night to keep us going. And
probably want to make sure that
coffee.
Ben isn't having too many beers or sneaking too many beers because it's the 80s and he's bound to try. I probably would let him have one or two, but after that we gotta.
He doesn't have any beer, but he does have a cigarette at one point, and it's got a peculiar smell from it.
To keep our sponsorship options open, I'll say he was drinking Miller Lite because I've been.
That's right.
Everything's been Bud Light so far.
Yeah, change it up a little bit.
Yeah, but so you all there's so much excess food from this brunch that you could live here for a week and you'd probably be fine. And if you ask Paul to leave that behind, he's happy to wrap things up for you, whatever you'd like, before he heads out for the evening.
Yeah, I'd probably just I'd probably portion some aside for the colonel just so that way she'd have something during the overnight.
That's
last
sweet.
thing we want to do.
Piss her off.
No, we don't want anyone to go hungry. So if there's a bunch of good food here and the banquet staff is basically going to pitch it at the end of the night, then
Absolutely.
Last thing you need is a hangry armed ex-military.
Right.
That's right. And I think that
one of the last things we need.
as they start to kind of shut down the banquet and Paul indicates, hey, I'm about to head out, but I'll be back first thing in the morning. You can give me the full report. I hope you find something. I don't know exactly what you're doing here, but I trust you.
Mr. Spiner, we've noticed that at certain times during the night there seems to be some sort of distortion on the lens of the cameras. So we're actually going to see if we can see what's causing that, because it's not happening during the daytime. So it's maybe something to do with the atmospheric conditions at night.
Oh, I can help you with that. They told me the cameras aren't working properly.
It's all right. I've already looked into it. It's
okay.
I understand what the problem is. I'm now looking to see what the root cause.
Well, I'm happy to help where I can, so you're welcome for the information.
Well, thank you for the information. That was extremely useful. But I don't think I don't think we'll need you for the night. If you want to go on home, that's fine. You just leave us with the key passes and the keys or whatever we need to get in and out.
Okay.
We'll be fine.
That's good. I don't have any relevant skills for the overnight, so perfect decision there. And the last thing
I'm
you hear,
sure I can put you between me and whatever it is that's coming for me. So.
and the breakdown crew for the banquet has kind of like kicked it up a notch with the music, and the last thing you hear before they're done for the night is Nothing But a Good Time by Poison.
Oh.
Yeah. I put on my Walkman and listen to some proper music.
Pink Floyd or something?
No. I've got Echo and the Bunnymen.
Oh, that's perfect.
So that's what I listen to.
All right, very good. So now everyone but the three of you, if you're on the third floor kind of eating, making final preparations, whatever you'd like to do, it's just the three of you on the second floor. You'd assume that James Nguyen is down in the security office.
Yeah, probably go check in with James and just see what time he would normally start. He's going to have to be around to button everything up before he slinks back into crawls back into his office to mount and man the chair for the rest of the night. So yeah, I'd check with him and see when his last round.
Just knock before you go in. That's right.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm looking for the white tie on the doorknob outside.
Oh God.
Yeah, totally do that.
Yeah. So, but.
You're the one who put the tissues in, Cup.
Leave it.
Yeah, that was just because I'm naive, like I said. But so the escalators are off, but you can certainly use them as stairs because they're no longer running. But are you Reg then going down to the office now? Okay, and are you two going with him?
Yes. Stick together.
I don't really have anything else to do. So Colonel, did you find anything when you went to where was it you went with
the Historical Society?
Historical Society. Was there anything there that was anything to do with this? Do you think?
Just some old book that said things about other books and notes about weird magic things. Nonsense.
Weird magic things. You ever see that movie Poltergeist?
I don't see movies, son.
Came out a few years ago. They made two sequels to it. One came out this year. It's god awful film. But the first film, Poltergeist, it's a real cool film. You should see it. It's about this family. They move into a house and then all these kind of weird, creepy things start happening to them. And this guy, he's looking in the mirror in the bathroom. And there's all maggots coming out of his face and out of this chicken is all maggot. And but it turns out that they built the house on an old burial ground, an old Native American burial ground, and it was the restless spirits that were coming to take their vengeance on it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, son, I've seen enough maggots coming out of people's faces in real life, and there were no spirits involved.
It just kind of looks like.
Well, on that note,
no, this was just a movie. This wasn't real.
Here's your food, Colonel. Good luck.
Yeah. So
just, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
1,000-yard stare.
I'm just gonna sit over there.
They need an interpersonal skill for creepiness, I think.
Oh, it's charm. It has to be, right?
Yeah, that's true. So but I won't make you roll it against each other. So the security office door is closed. It's dark outside, so this would be normal closing hours for the mall. It looks like Nguyen has already got everything secured. The trainees have all left, and it is very quiet and very cold inside the mall.
Oh, yeah.
Colonel, you've got that extra set of keys, right?
Yes.
Let's keep the security office open.
Good idea. Not that he'll be much help.
Seems to sit on his asshole and not do nothing.
Don't say it, Rena.
I wasn't going to, and then you gave me that shit-eating grin, and I was like, oh no.
We have to step away from this topic of conversation.
Yes.
I'll walk in.
Oh, we need to keep going before I'm gone.
I'll walk into the security office.
Okay. And he almost falls out of his chair again. Oh, Dunlop. Hey. Good to see you again.
You all right?
Oh, yeah, I'm good.
All right. Listen, we're going to get started.
Okay.
Just stay on your toes, okay?
Oh, yep, on my toes, and his heels are on the desk. So.
Impossible, man. I turn around. Do us a favor. Don't lock this door.
Never do. Yep, no problem.
Come back out. And I give the colonel just like this deepest eye roll, like I'm probably going to give myself a concussion and continue to move.
Yes. We need to go stake out the site.
Yeah, so I was looking at the tape there again for some of those periods when you got this kind of frosting or whatever it is over the lens, and you can definitely see there's something moving about in the mall. I don't know. You can't make out what it is, but it's definitely something. You can see. I looked at the time when the security guard was there, and you can see something moving about out there. But I don't know. I mean, I guess if there is some sort of a dog that's skulking around, maybe in the basement or something like that, and comes out at night looking for food, maybe that's what it is. But it still doesn't explain these. Why these cameras are just act up like this? It doesn't. I'm kind of at a loss to understand that. It's not something technical that I can see.
Can't say I get down to the basement too often. I don't know. I mean, maybe it was Woodford?
Well, could have been, I suppose, but
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, I could see him. He was, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what it was.
Okay, well, I can't say I've seen nothing, but...
And you never seen any sight nor sound of an animal that's maybe made a lair down here somewhere, and maybe down in the boiler room or something.
No, haven't heard any barking or anything like that. Just some bumps in the night, maybe scratching, things like that. But never heard like a howl or animal sound or anything. I don't.
Hold on, back up.
Sure.
Bumps in the night and scratching. You say, wow.
Yeah, like I was saying before, it's creepy in here at night. There's just these. I don't know if it's the new plumbing system that's been installed or the HVAC or whatnot. HVAC must be acting up. It's so cold here. But just these kind of bangs and bumps, and I don't right know how to explain. I've never seen anything on the cameras when they do work.
Whereabouts is these bangs and bumps coming from?
Oh, just beyond the closed door.
Which door?
The security office door here.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, you mean somewhere that's not in the security office?
Yeah, so when I hear something right outside the office, I go back and look to my cameras to see if anything's out there, and I can't say I've seen much.
You mean the cameras that aren't working, son?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean, Colonel.
So you don't actually go and investigate what happens physically?
Well, we got other guys working other nights.
Don't lie to me, son.
Yeah.
Do you go out or don't you? Simple question.
I mean, I've peeked out here and there. I just, I don't. We got the cameras, so.
The cameras that don't work, son.
Well, my job's to look at the cameras, Colonel. I don't know what to tell you.
Apparently, you're not doing your job.
Wait, so you saying that you're hearing these noises right outside the door?
They get pretty close sometimes, pretty loud. Yeah, I'll say that. I really think it's the plumbing. Are any of you a plumber?
I know a bit about plumbing.
Do I look like a plumber?
Okay. How's that sound to you then? The banging in the pipes?
I mean, it's possible, but pipe banging is purely and directly correlated to improper pressure. And for pipes like this to have improper pressure, you'd see it all over the place. So water fountains would go crazy. So I'd probably list a few things, right? When you go into the bathroom and you wash your hands because it's very important nowadays to wash your hands. If the pipes are irregular, then you're going to get a strange spray, or you might not get anything at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
If that's not happening, then it's not the pipes.
Is that when you kind of hear this kind of knocking in the pipe sometimes?
Sometimes, sure.
Turning the tap. Ah.
Not really. I'm not a big hand washer myself, but not really. It doesn't really correspond to any water running, as far as I can tell. I don't have running water here in the office, if you didn't notice.
So
we noticed.
You didn't hear these noises anywhere else except right outside the door?
I guess, y'all are kind of bringing out my investigative spark now. Maybe there's a bum that's been using the bathrooms at night, and then that makes sense. We got a bum on the premises.
And he doesn't show up in any of your cameras?
Nope. No, ma'am.
You got a boiler room or something?
I became very southern.
You did.
A boiler room? Yeah, for sure. Down in the basement, we've got all that stuff. It's not my level of expertise.
You ever go down there?
Ooh, not
when
unless
you're doing your rounds.
Not unless they tell me to.
They got cameras down there?
We do. We have 2 cameras down there.
Can I take a look at the footage from those cameras?
Steps aside and kind of extends his arms to let you have at it. And you're an expert at the system now, Ben. So you pull up the basement footage, and you're kind of discouraged by what you see. The cameras are just pointed at opposite walls. You wouldn't even notice if anything had made its way through there.
Is this where these cameras are supposed to be pointed? Because that's not particularly efficient.
He looks in. Oh, yeah, we should probably fix that positioning. Give me a psychology roll from Ben.
Well, I don't think I need a psychology roll. No, I haven't the faintest.
Okay, so I guess you probably have surmised that he's lazy or incompetent.
Yeah. I just think, okay, he never goes down there. Probably doesn't even look at those feeds.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. I want to go and take a look and see if somebody's moved those cameras. If maybe they've been deliberately pointed at opposite walls to hide something.
While he's doing that, I'm going to go do some setup and do a bit of a reconnoiter around where we're going to be hanging out for the night in that area near where the security guard was killed.
Okay, yeah, where are you hanging out in that area? I'll pull up the map just to remind everybody where we are. Are you just like sitting on the fountain? Are you hiding? Or are you... There's a little corridor that goes to one of the exits. There's a JCPenney that's caged off.
Mm-hmm.
I'll keep you from all those Union Bay jeans you want to buy.
I was thinking that that corridor area before the exit, so between what's marked as B2 and B3, because it gives you a clear look at what's coming down the main hallway.
Okay.
So no one can really sneak up on you from there, but you can also just be in the shadows and no one can see you.
Okay.
If you're careful about it. So not out in the open, but the best place to be able to see in every direction.
You on board with that, Reg?
Yeah, no, it seems like a good plan as long as she's not like toting a sniper rifle. Sure.
All right.
Not this time.
Not yet.
As I head for the way down to the basement, I kind of look over my shoulder and I kind of look at the others with a kind of quizzical look on my face. I'm going down the basement now, where there might be a wild dog made its den.
Yeah, I'll go with you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. And is Cheryl gonna stake out while they inspect the basement, or are you gonna go with them?
I'm gonna stake out because it's already getting close to dark, and if something starts coming up any earlier, I want to be prepared for it. And also, I don't want to leave the gear out because I don't trust that idiot in the security office.
Okay. And you've left him there, is that right? Or have you invited him to join?
Oh, yes. I'm not letting him anywhere near us.
Okay.
He'll fuck everything up.
All right. So let's say you did because it's not on the directory. You've at least asked him where the doors to the basement are, perhaps. So on this lower level map, there's actually going to be an entrance to the basement near the Sears, kind of between that hallway and D5.
Okay.
There's a little, it has like an emergency exit. The doors are not like the nice doors of the entrance to the mall, just these solid doors with the push bar. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess we'll head down there.
Pretty close to the escalator as well, the one that you've traveled a few times.
Just in case that there's any issues with the lighting down there, I'd like to take a flashlight just to be on the safe side.
Okay, good. And Officer Nguyen's happy to provide flashlights.
Yay! That sounds excellent. I don't want to go. Yeah, I want to go with a flashlight for sure.
Okay.
Always go down the stairs with a flashlight. So yeah, just obviously check the lights, get the main lights on, and just head down the stairs. I'm kind of a little bit nervous about going down these stairs because, I'm thinking if there is some sort of an animal and I'm not quite sure how it's getting in and out of this door, mind you.
Okay.
That seems a bit strange, but I want to check these cameras anyway. My theory about an animal living in the basement once I go through these doors, if they seem to be fairly secure, and I'll maybe go onto the other side and try pushing them just to see if there was something, if it could just sort of nose its way through the doors to get into the main body of the shopping mall.
Sure. That's fair, and maybe it's unwelcome information that these doors open pretty easily from both sides. They're not locked.
Yeah. I just kind of turned to Reggie. I mean, what? How is he? I don't even. This place. It's just. And he doesn't finish any of those sentences.
I just kind of nod a bit. I think I get what you're saying. They went all in on the mall and maybe cheaped out on the security.
Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. It's going to come and bite them in the ass one day, but.
Oh, it already did.
And maybe Nguyen doesn't have a checklist for his security shutdowns at night. You might suspect that as well. He seems pretty disorganized.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna head down the stairs, just kind of keeping my eyes open.
Oh, yeah. Let me pull a map for you.
Yeah, no worries.
You're looking for which map of the basement itself?
If we've got a map of the basement, that'd be great. Yeah.
I don't have a map of the basement, so I probably shouldn't have proposed that. I can describe the basement to you though. So,
okay.
Yeah, you walk through these maintenance doors, and it is darker in here. And one thing you immediately notice is a blast of cold air. So also colder down here, for sure. And you look down and it's dark, but there are some lights. You're imagining like those kind of can lights that have cages over the bottom of them. Yeah, that's what you're expecting to find down there.
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, I guess if there's still kind of corners of the area that are in darkness, I'll use one of the flashlights and I'll try and kind of I'll swoop it around a bit and see what I can see.
Okay.
And have a look. Did we bring the ladder? Can we reach these cameras without it?
I've got the ladder right here.
Okay, yeah, so to adjust the cameras, you have the ladder with you, and maybe the toolbox as well, I would imagine.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, that sounds
absolutely.
makes sense.
Okay. You never know what could come in handy. So you shine your light. I'm guessing you're shining it down the stairs.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going down the stairs into the
Is it like a metal staircase down there? Or?
Yeah, you are kind of clanging as you go down the stairs.
Clang. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's kind of a concrete metal structure. So the brim is metal, but the base is
running down the side of the wall.
Oh yeah, lots of exposed plumbing down here. Yep, for sure. And you walk down there, and there's a long concrete hallway at the bottom of the staircase, and it just extends forward, and you can see a door at the end.
Okay. Are there
It's
any
actu-
cameras on this section?
It's actually a little bit unusual because you were expecting this to open up into a large basement area,
Yeah.
but really all you're finding through these doors is a long corridor. Maybe it's through that door at the end of the corridor.
Kind of look over my shoulder at Reggie and Mr. Dunlop. This seems a bit of an unusual design. Is this what you were expecting?
Yeah, this is not what I expected. Does this? I guess from my engineering background, why would they have done this?
I was gonna say roll for it, but then I was like, how would I explain it if he succeeds?
I guess I would say this.
Purposely.
Given Red's a professional by his skill level. If for whatever reason when they built the mall, if there was a structure underneath the ground that they couldn't remove or didn't want to,
Right.
then I might see something where the two had been married together.
Okay.
Right? Where old concrete meets new concrete, and then Reggie could look at it and go,
Kind of built
"Oh,
around
well,
something, maybe.
they built around it rather than pull it out." Or maybe there was who knows, any number of underground issues could have happened, and the team may have determined, okay, well, it's not a smart idea for us to try to dig this up because it's gonna cost too much money. So,
And I will say you've actually figured out exactly why they did this according to the scenario itself. It just didn't come out in any of your conversations, but
Sure.
There's a reason they built a corridor around this area. Just like you said, some obstruction that would have been too difficult to build a basement on top of. But you expect that at some point this must connect to some, because Nguyen himself called it a basement. And you do see a camera, Ben, that's just pointed kind of at its own level straight across the corridor at a wall, not really picking up anything in the corridor itself.
So I guess the first thing I want to do is I want to get the ladder up and have a look at this camera, and just kind of before I do anything, just have a kind of close look at it using the flashlight to see does it look as though it's been tampered with? Does it look as though something actually moved it, or is it just kind of just been set badly and not fixed properly?
Yeah, it looks like maybe it was just neglected. You don't think anyone's really tampered with it deliberately, at least. You do notice that the lens is very cold, so that you'd been seeing frost on all these lenses. You think you might even see a little bit of formation of frost starting to form on the lens.
You see this, Mr. Dunlop? It looks like there's some kind of icing coming over the lens of this. It's very sort of touch the wall beside it, the ceiling and that, and just see is that cold as well, or is it?
It's cold. It's so cold in here. Both of you are probably shivering. It's very cold in the basement.
Maybe some kind of refrigeration malfunction or something.
Yeah, there's something going on down here. It's cold. It's way colder than it should be.
It is November in Cincinnati, but it's even colder than that. Right? This is like February outdoors in Cincinnati.
Well, it shouldn't be this cold in this basement.
Exactly.
I'll try and angle the camera to the position that it should be at, so get a better view of the. Presumably, it's the way it's positioned. It's designed to look down the corridor towards the door at the other end.
Okay. It's very easy for you to do that. So you reposition the camera. You don't have a reference to see exactly where it's pointing, but you know that you're picking up a lot more than it was picking up previously.
Yeah, sure. I'll just put it in what seems like an appropriate position to pick up movement in the corridor, and then well, I guess we'll head on down to these doors and see what's through on the other side.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the plan.
All right. And you're just going to pass through the other doors, and you enter this. It's an earthen room. This has not been developed. This is going to strike you, Reg, as very odd. You're expecting, not like a finished basement in a home, but at least something that's been set up for utilities or something to support this gigantic mall.
It should be poured concrete.
Yeah, exactly. It should be poured concrete, but it's an earthen room. And Reg, you both noticed this, but Reg immediately noticed that there's a large crack running down the middle of the floor.
What is this? What is this place?
That's a huge problem. I put my flashlight right on the crack in the floor. That's a huge problem.
Yeah. So you shine your flashlight down on the crack, and this is a wide crack. I'm not talking like just a structural crack. This is big enough to get bodies down. This is
holy
Should we
moly!
want to dispose of some
it's more like a chasm. Yeah, it's like more like a chasm than a crack. And when you shine your flashlight down there, Reg, it's earthen, right? Just like what you're walking on. It looks like it's about 15 feet down. That the crack runs till it encounters more earth. And I'm sorry, Ben.
Maybe just it's just kind of looking around this whole place, which looks like, what the hell is this? This doesn't make any sense at all. Should we maybe get the lieutenant colonel, ma'am, lieutenant colonel, ma'am, down here? I don't really like the look of this.
Yeah,
and they have been gone a while, Colonel.
So
they
I'm
can't
gonna
open this place.
I'm gonna go after them if it's been more than about 20 minutes or so, because it shouldn't be taking that long. And if there's someone in here, that could be a problem. So I'm gonna load my weapon.
Okay.
I'm gonna go down after them.
All right, and maybe you're
nothing
you're
can go
bored.
wrong here.
Yeah,
I'm also bored. I want to be doing something.
yeah. I feel like the Colonel's impatient, so
I'm bored. I want to be shooting something, doing something.
he just walks down shooting at the two of you as you look at the crack. No, so yeah, Colonel. Nothing's happening. It's so isolated and boring and cold that you kind of get fed up with that after 15 or 20 minutes, and you just go down. Nguyen tells you where they went. And then you can walk right down that stairwell.
And I've got the face paint on, so like I can't imagine how he reacts to like when the Colonel just says, "Where did they go?"
It's like Commando. Yeah.
Yes.
He falls out of his chair for the third time.
Careful, son. Give yourself a concussion. And I'm just gonna slip away into the shadows, like heading off for the basement.
And it's very cold. You're noticing that, if I haven't emphasized it enough, it's very cold as you walk down the stairwell, and getting colder. So it's like beyond a draft that's hitting you now, Colonel, as you walk down the stairs. And you see, did y'all close that door behind you? Because that was not an automatic shutting door.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so you see that you can actually see them ahead. You kind of see silhouettes. The corridor you're in is well lit. The room you're in, Reg and Ben, I think is being illuminated mostly by your flashlights.
Absolutely.
So you see.
I guess I'll have a look to see if there is a light switch here or not.
Yeah, you don't see anything. You're getting light in from the corridor, but you're not. There's no independent light source in here.
I'm now wondering where the other camera that I saw the feed from is, whether if there's another corridor here somewhere, because it doesn't look like this place here. From the description of it, it doesn't look like the camera was picking up any of this.
Right. I think that, Reg, you might suspect that there's like a real basement somewhere, and that Nguyen has sent you down to whatever this is. But the other camera would probably be like where the boilers are, things like that. Plumbing, things that you would expect to see in the basement. You had some exposed pipes and things running through here, but clearly this isn't a mall basement, what you would expect to see underneath a mall.
I don't see I don't see a boiler here.
Yeah, and you have a flashlight too, Colonel, I'm sure.
So I'll just slip in behind them.
Yeah, you see like the movement from their flashlights through that open door, and you go in right behind them, and you see Reg
behind them.
Reg shining his flashlight down into that chasm.
What have you found? Says a voice from the shadows behind you.
Dirt.
Don't do that to me.
Toughen up, son. More things in this life will surprise you than me.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
well, if it's no surprise to anybody, this mall needs to be shut down immediately.
Yeah, see that, Colonel, ma'am, see that?
Mm-hmm. Yes. What is that?
I don't know. What is that?
And shine my flashlight around it.
Hey, right, whatever it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, so you're not actually making out very much down, these walls of the chasm. Yeah, it's definitely wide enough to get down there, but you think that, Reg, as you shined your flashlight, it looks like it continues. It continues beyond this room. You see there's an opening that looks like it runs past where this little, cavernous room that you're in ends.
Does it seem
little cavernous is conflicting, but you know what I'm saying.
Does the temperature seem to be colder towards where this crack is? Is there any noticeable difference in temperature here, or is it just generally cold?
It's not like an air conditioner blasting air out of the crack itself, but it's definitely colder in this room generally than it was in the corridor.
Does it look like something we can climb down, or is it just like a steep drop?
Colonel, you would probably feel pretty confident. There are some footholds in here. I think that I don't know what your climb skill is, but you could probably do it. And Reg has a ladder. Maybe you could figure a way to fashion that into something.
I have a climb of 50, so I'd say I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah, that's strong. But it's up to you how you'd like to go about it if you want to investigate this very odd feature.
I think we should check out this hole, boys.
Okay.
Lead on.
With pleasure. And she's just going to start climbing down. Like, she's very excited. This is the most interesting thing that's happened to her since she got home from Vietnam.
So as you clamber down the wall, give me a climb roll.
Okay.
Anyone that describes their experiences in Vietnam as interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, suburban life is boring.
Can I while she's doing that? Can I sweep my?
Can I push that?
Yes. What are you going to do differently?
So I
use this ladder.
I start climbing down, and my handholds are slipping a bit. So I'm gonna stretch out further, like make my body wider, so I can try to get a tighter grip on things, and then move a bit more slowly going down.
Okay, yeah, it's not quite a column, but you have found an area where you kind of can get a better hold by almost wrapping your arms around to grab the holds. And go ahead and push that roll. See how that works.
Watch me fail and die.
Or fumble. Oh, no.
Oh,
no, it's not a fumble, but it's still a fail.
A 92. Okay, so actually, when you try to do that, you're kind of holding on with one hand, trying to outstretch another hand, and the hand you still have a grip with slips. It's cold, and it's almost picking up moisture now, and you weren't expecting that piece of it. So you do fall to the bottom and land on this earthen ground at the bottom of the chasm. It's about a 15-foot drop, and I'm going to need a D6 roll for your damage.
Oof.
Ooh.
It's not half my hit points though.
Yeah, I was worried about that.
It would be more than half my hit points, to tell you that.
So does she like Wile E. Coyote off this into this thing? Just
yeah. So you fall back very dramatically and hit your head against the opposite wall of the crack. And,
that's going to make me a lot more sane.
They're just watching you from above with two flashlights. Like the competent one has just fallen.
Is that how it's supposed to be done? Because that don't look right. That don't look how it's supposed to be done.
Are you okay?
Trust falls.
Yeah, with the trailing.
While she's doing that, I'd actually like to kind of look around this room or this whatever it is that we're in. Just kind of sweep the torch around just to get an idea of why is this here? Why hasn't this just been concreted over? Is there anything in here?
Okay. You look around and no, you don't really see anything except on the left. It does look like a concrete wall. Well, it is a concrete wall is on the left, like, barring you from entering the rest of what might be a basement, but there's no door connecting it or anything. This room has just been kind of isolated off on its own.
So why did he send us down here? This ain't the boiler room. I'm going to have a words with this boy. You okay down there, Colonel, ma'am?
Just fine. Keep your voice down. We don't know what's down here. She says weakly.
I guess what I'll do is I'll try to open the ladder up all the way.
Okay.
And see if I can use it as an assistant to get down there.
And while they're doing that, can I try to first aid myself, like bandage my head up and things like that?
Yeah, you could do that. You have some things on you, so you can roll first aid for yourself. I'll allow that. And so Reg is opening the ladder. The Colonel's
That's
probably like, maybe we should have tried that previously.
That's a success.
You get a hit point back for the Colonel while they're figuring out the ladder. And it's not quite a 15-foot ladder. It's about a 9-foot ladder. But I will give you 2 bonus die on a climb roll using the ladder.
Okay, so yeah. Let's see which one comes up better. I will totally take that.
16.
16. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 16's great. So what you kind of do is hold on to some of the holds that the Colonel had until you can set your foot down on the top of the ladder, and you can climb down there, no problem. Ben, are you inspired by what Reg has done?
I'm super inspired. I'm going to follow his lead and do exactly what he did. So that is
okay.
Oh,
it's at a 13. So yeah, I guess I'll that's what's climb. Yeah, I mean that's a climb check. I've got bonus die, but I don't see any particular need to roll them because I made it on that one.
All right, so Colonel, as you're kind of lying on the ground looking up, you see that these two have used a ladder to climb down while you
Listen, I'm an officer. We don't do things the smart way. That would be too easy.
Cheating, using a ladder.
we don't think about the most obvious things first.
Mm-hmm. And while you're all kind of getting situated, Reg, you're waiting for Ben to finish climbing down. Ben, you're very careful, I imagine, in this climbing. Mm-hmm. This isn't what you're good at typically. And no, Colonel, you're just like looking up at all these dirt and mud walls. It's incredibly cold. The ground itself is cold, Colonel. And I'd like spot hidden rolls from all three of you.
Absolutely.
All right.
What is my spot hidden?
Okay, that is an appallingly bad spot hidden roll. Mm-hmm. I do not even know I'm there.
Okay, I think that's a pass for me.
Yeah, that's not a pass for me.
I think we have a Colonel pass. Yeah,
that's a pass for me.
All right, so it makes sense for the Colonel to see this. She's the tracking expert as well. So you see distinctive claw marks, Colonel, on the cave floor and also on the wall of the crack.
Do they look like the same marks I saw on the carpet?
They sure do, about the same size.
Okay, so boys, whatever that thing is, it's down here. We gotta find it.
Wait, what's down here?
No, we gotta not find it. I think is what you're trying to say. We gotta run away from it.
No, if it killed that poor man upstairs, we gotta stop it.
If it killed that poor man upstairs, we need to get like the pest exterminator.
And what if it comes out and goes after that other idiot in the security office?
What if it goes after us?
How did it get past him?
And get past him because he just stays in his office. He doesn't. He doesn't care. He don't go out. He hears noises outside the office.
I doubt he was even looking at the camera.
There is an escalator that kind of blocks off these doors from the security window. It's not a plain line of sight there.
Fair enough. All right, I'm going to try to help the Colonel to her feet.
Okay. Yep, you were able to do that successfully. She does a lot of it on her own.
I'm sure she does. Well, that's a pretty bad head wound you've got there.
I'll be fine. I've had worse. You don't want to know. And I'm just like busily pulling out my gun.
Ben is just like that. Why am I here with this crazy soldier? She's nuts.
And I think maybe Ben and anyone else who's reluctant about what's happening now, you probably realize that if you're going to claim that hefty reward, that you have to figure out what's going on here, and maybe it's even beyond your own beliefs. What could possibly be occurring? So now it's like there's a threat to the mall. You're hot on the trail. It's up to you to see this through for Spiner.
That $10,000 is the only reason I am not at home with my mother eating meatloaf right now.
Unsalted.
Watching Dynasty.
So I'm gonna. I've got my gun out and I'm doing that thing with a small issue flashlight where I'm holding it over the gun, so I'm still aiming my weapon, but I've got the flashlight pointing down the direction towards the tracks. I just look at them and say, "Come on, let's go."
Okay, and you can see with your flashlight there's kind of a downward slope. And give me a tracking roll to follow up on those claw marks for Cheryl.
It's gonna be great. 62 out of 60, so I'll spend 2 luck.
Okay, so you spend 2 luck to make that a success. And one thing you notice about these claw marks is that it looks like they're all the same. So in your best guess is that if this is a creature, whatever it is, there's one of them that's kind of going back and forth.
It's only one. We've got the advantage of numbers. It's a tactical advantage that we can use.
What?
What are you talking about? Tactical advantage? What are you talking about?
We can outflank it. There's only one of them.
One of what? One dog. We can outflank a rabid dog.
A rabid dog that broke a several 1,000-pound concrete pillar.
Maybe it was already weak. I don't know. But we're going after this thing.
Oh, I groan. Like just...
What exactly did you do in Vietnam, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, I can't tell you that, son, or I'd have to kill you.
That's instilling confidence.
Okay.
We're assuming Cheryl passed an intimidate roll for everybody in this scenario, including the players.
Ben's got this idea in his head that Cheryl had like a desk job at Vietnam, and she's all this stuff is just her fantasy that she was Ed Harris from Apocalypse Now.
I like that.
Just gonna kill her.
So I think for the players and the audience, I think we have about 30 minutes remaining. If that's okay for everybody, will that work?
Yeah,
that's okay. All right, we'll do our best. Well, we'll see how aggressive you are too, I guess.
If not, I could just shoot everybody.
That's always an option for Rena, as I've learned firsthand. All right, so it also looks to you, Cheryl, Colonel, with the track roll, that this is a one-way route. Like you can head out of this little chasm, and there's a downward sloping, it's almost like a ramp that just goes downward, where your flashlights are shining. I should say, it's only wide enough when you get beyond this room for you to go single file, so you can't walk shoulder to shoulder.
Well, I've got the weapon, so I'm going first.
Yep, that's fine by me.
Okay. I'm imagining Ben 50 feet back.
I'm going to die first for once. It's going to be great.
I'll be right behind you, about 30 yards right behind you, going the opposite direction.
Okay. So it's going to be Cheryl, then Reg, then Ben, and you're walking single file toward this opening. It is, like I said, downward sloping, and the environment is a little different. It's very slippery in here, and maybe it has something to do with the cold, and the cold is intensifying the further that you walk. I would like you to all give me dex rolls to see how you're handling the slippery surface. It's like the ice skating rink at the mall at this point.
Well, this will go badly.
Not my strongest stat.
Ooh, Ben.
I am skating.
Ben brought ice skates. Yeah.
Oh wow! Wow.
That is a failure for Reggie.
I managed.
You killed it, huh?
I managed a hard success.
Yeah. So the two of you are fine, and Reg, you failed.
I'll grab hold of Reg's arm if I see him slipping. I'll grab hold of his arm and try and keep him upright.
Okay, you kind of do soften the fall that he's about to take, but Reg is gonna slip on the ground and take 1d2 damage as he falls hard to the ground and kind of starts to slide down this slope, maybe almost passing you, Cheryl.
Shh! Gotta keep it quiet.
I suppose I just roll a d4.
Yeah. And then 1 and 2 will be 1.
You can also roll a d2. That's
Yeah.
So just one point of damage.
Oof. Ow.
Yeah, no problem. Just a bump and a scrape.
Careful, Mr. Dunlop.
Yeah,
It's really slick.
Yeah, it's cold down here. What is making it so cold?
So you get to a section, and it's very difficult to traverse. It's this narrow passage that is filled with rubble, and it goes for probably 10 to 15 feet. And I think the scariest thing probably about this stretch for you is that it's built up, so you can't see if there's anything on the other side.
I think we might have lost Diamond again.
Oh, okay. I see. He's frozen up. All right, so we'll see if he's able to jump back in.
He said he's trying to jump back in right now.
Okay, I'll keep my eyes open for the. It's so cold down here that he froze.
He said it was that hard of a fall it kicked him out of the Zoom.
All right, so he's dropped off. If he comes back, Spike, we'll just switch your order again. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So I'll just continue to describe this, and we can catch him up. So yeah, it's just this. There's a lot of rubble in this one particular stretch of path, so it's going to require you to do a lot of crawling and squeezing your way through. It makes you feel almost, depending on your personality, almost claustrophobic. Like now you're actually moving into an area that it's the first time it's not easy to access for you.
Yeah. Ben doesn't really have any problem with that. He's quite a little guy anyway, and he sort of squirms and squeezes his way through without too much difficulty.
Yeah, and when you pop out on the other side of the rubble, it looks like you're in an area now where debris has been cleared. So it's been actually cleared into this little passageway that you entered into, and this is he's back.
Yay!
I'll wait for him to join us for this reveal.
Shall I jump out just now then? Yeah, I'll
just hop out. Yep.
I will leave and then I will rejoin.
Perfect.
The tension is mounting.
Yeah, so Michael, you just encountered, it was kind of this really narrow stretch with a lot of rubble built up. And when you get to the other side of that, you realize that this was all debris that had been cleared from another room that you've all just entered.
Okay.
The cold continues to intensify. It is very chilly now. I don't know exactly how you're dressed, but this is uncomfortably cold for all three of you, I imagine.
Yeah, probably not for this.
Yeah, and now you're in this room that looks like it's connected to several corridors, but these aren't like mall basement corridors. These are cavern corridors. And most of them are blocked off completely by debris, and it looks like they were blocked off maybe a long time ago to you. Everything's very dirty and dusty and old looking. It's not like something has just recently occurred here. Give me you can all give me a natural world roll to see if you can figure out what's going on here.
I don't know if I have that.
I don't know if any of you do.
Natural world? I don't go outside.
We have 3 chances though.
I do, but it's not that good.
Yeah, I don't have enough luck to spend on that.
I have zero concept of anything natural.
Okay.
At all.
Did you fail that too, Reggie, or did you not roll it yet?
Yeah, I failed.
Okay, you failed it too. So you can't quite figure out how this happened. You just know that most of the corridors are blocked off. But you can continue straight ahead. There's still a path going downward.
Yeah, I mean, I'll pick myself up and keep going, only because I assume that the colonel is not stopping.
It's very clear to probably you more than anyone, Reg, but I think all 3 of you, that you are outside of mall territory now. Mm-hmm. You're not within the boundaries of the mall. You are underground in the suburbs of Cincinnati somewhere.
Kind of look around and say, where are we going? Where's this taking us?
I don't know, but I don't like it.
Well, I've not liked it for some time now.
So you continue along. It's actually been a while, probably since you started to leave that first crack, that chasm where the colonel fell. It's maybe been 45 minutes of walking downward, just getting colder and colder and colder. And now you're noticing that the pathway is actually becoming wider. So this is maybe a relief in some way because it was getting very tight at times, and there was rubble blocking certain parts of the passage, and now it's finally starting to open up.
Shh.
Yeah, share your excitement or be very quiet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm just like looking around, like
What is it?
checking.
What is it?
With your flashlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. In the center of the room, you see that, and this is a large open cavern that you're standing in. So when you're shining your flashlights, they're kind of like, going to infinity until the light dissolves completely. You notice, well, first thing you might notice as you kind of spin your flashlight around is that the walls in this cavern are covered in large runic inscriptions. And gosh, it's not just the light from your flashlight, is it? They seem to be glowing faintly, independent of any type of light source.
Has Cheryl shared any of the information that she found other than what she mentioned to me about the notes and stuff that she got in the book?
Yeah, I think I would have just like, here, weird magic stuff. I don't know. You do magic here.
Well, I mean, I guess technology would be magic to somebody who didn't understand it. Magic is just it's just a kind of technology we don't comprehend. So these look like these look like computational symbols of some kind, I guess.
Oh, what? Ben, look at the book. See if they match.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so what do we got here?
Yeah, so as Ben's starting to look at that, as you reach for the book, Cheryl, you kind of whip your flashlight toward the center of the room, and you notice that there's what looks like a ritual circle in the center of the room. This is like something you would see in a 70s or 80s pulp movie. And not only that, there are these, it looks like 24, maybe more, creatures lying on the ground inside the circle.
What?
And I'm going to ask all of you for a D12. Or sanity check. Sanity check.
Uh-oh.
Sanity check
Please,
first.
this
Please,
real quick.
I want to fail.
It is freezing cold, by the way.
It's quite a lot.
Oh my gosh, I rolled a 6.
That's very good.
No, I mean, that's good, I suppose. But
Is
and
43 a
bad.
pass for you, for Cheryl?
Gosh darn it.
It is. Barely.
Let's just see what.
Rena needs like a reverse luck to
Can I spend luck to fail it?
3. Okay, no, so you're all pretty cool with this. Give me just
Oh
a
yeah,
D-
those are just creatures from the abyss, Anyway,
Yeah.
what do these symbols say?
No, but you are going to lose a D4. So everybody give me a D4 on the pass. This is obviously you've never seen anything quite like this before.
Okay, that's 4.
I got 4.
Yeah, I got 4.
Yay!
You got 2.
All right.
2.
All right.
What
so,
in God's name is that? That's
So-
probably what goes through Reggie's head.
oh yeah, any other reactions to seeing the
I just
ghouls?
kind of drop the flashlight and back off.
Okay, good.
What the hell's that? What in the hell's that?
And
I'm gonna go closer to it.
okay, yeah, so Colonel, as
No,
you
no, don't go anywhere near it. Where are you going? What are you doing?
Colonel, as you creep on this, you notice that it's actually 3 concentric circles that are drawn on the ground, on the cavern floor. And maybe you're kind of like taking a rough count. Maybe it'd be more likely for Reg to do this, since Ben is kind of backing off. But you think that it looks like 32 ghouls that are lying here on the ground. So more than the 24 that you originally thought. At the very center, there's one of these ghoul-looking things that's standing while the rest are lying down. And let me give you kind of a better sense of what you're facing here. So these are about the size of human bodies, but they look to be kind of frozen solid. They have almost dog-like faces, long, lanky limbs. They have long, sharp claws on their fingers and their toes, and pretty gaunt, very pale, almost blue skin. Not human. Clearly not human.
I'm gonna point my gun at the standing one, like, identify yourself.
Okay. I love that. Okay.
I'm kind of on the floor scrambling to try and get my torch again.
Yeah. So as you're yelling, identify yourself, fixated on the center ghoul. Everyone, give me a spot hidden.
Oh Lord. No.
That's a fail for me.
Fail for me.
Oh no!
We all fail.
Oh boy.
We do not spot any hiddens.
We don't hidden any spots either.
Okay. So although you failed, you're still going to notice this. It's just going to be maybe a second later than you'd like to notice it. It's going to be you, Ben, since you've taken.
Oh, thank you.
It's going to be you, Ben, since you've taken some steps back. You notice that those concentric circles, the 32 ghouls that are aligned around these circles, there's one gap that looks like it's about the size of a ghoul. So maybe it's 31 ghouls. And just at that moment, you hear a sound behind you as a ghoul emerges from the shadows and tries to take a bite at you, Ben.
I'm going to dodge the hell away from that.
Well,
32 piles of ghouls on the floor.
And I'm probably surprised, so I probably can't.
The bad news I have for you is that Ben is surprised by the attack, so you're not going to be able to dodge this first one.
Okay.
So let me roll.
Just missed me then, haven't he?
So it's actually gonna hit you here. This is gonna be an automatic strike. It's able to bite you very easily from the shadows. I'm gonna roll damage for you.
Oh, thank you. Doesn't even get a chance of a fumble. That's just so not fair.
D4. So just 1 point.
Okay.
So it kind of lunges from the shadows toward Ben and takes like a like a hesitant nibble at your back, and then kind of falls back to the shadows. The ghoul does get 2 attacks per round, however, Ben. So it's going to take 1 more bite at you.
Okay. Do I get an opportunity to dodge this, or is this
You
still
do.
surprise?
You do get an opportunity to dodge this one because you are very aware
Fumble.
that the ghoul's here.
Shut your face.
Can't make me.
I'll fumble you. 51.
Okay.
Is that what's my dodge? My dodge is
Don't think that's going to do it.
my dodge is actually not too bad.
Yeah, I've given the creature 90.
What?
No, I'm kidding. Did you dodge yet, or are you working on it?
No, I'm just waiting to see if it hit me. So yeah, I'll try and dodge.
Okay, 38.
38 is a fail.
Okay, I also failed, so I believe I don't connect, right? That goes...
So if you fail, you don't connect.
Yeah, in favor of the dodger. So the ghoul...
no, I don't even... If you fail, I don't even need to dodge.
Oh, I shouldn't have made you roll that. So you actually... you don't dodge it, Ben, but you do, like, when you grab for the other bite, you get just far enough out of the way that it misses the second attempt at a bite and then kind of retracts back into the shadows.
So I scramble back away from where it came from, me in the shadows, and I'm just like, something's trying to bite me. It's just look and bit me, I'm bleeding, and look and bit me. There's something over there. Something came out of the shadows. My God, what is that? What is that thing?
Quiet down, son. You'll live.
Bit me.
You're making noise, you'll live.
All right, so...
Bobbing and kind of rocking.
Yeah, and the two of you are obviously distracted from whatever you're looking at with the...
all the way around.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with Ben. I'm turning around, like...
Yeah.
He seems to be freaking out. Is there blood on the ground now?
Yeah, so he's bleeding. I don't think it's quite like... It was only a little bite, so he's bleeding. If he turns around, you can see his shirt's ripped in the back and that he's bleeding on his back.
What was that thing? what the hell are these things? What's going on in here? We got to get out of here. This ain't right.
You're right. I go to help Ben and get him up.
All right,
Major,
good.
we're leaving.
Okay, so you're going to go over and try to
Colonel
help
to
Ben.
you, son.
And how about you, Colonel?
I'm gonna keep my weapon on the one that's standing, but I'm gonna start slowly backing out and be like, back up, back up, back up.
Okay, and it's pretty clear to you now, Colonel, that standing ghoul is frozen. That
Okay.
is not moved at all.
Okay.
Okay.
So can I do a quick scan and see if, now that I know that there was something in
Yeah.
the shadows that bit Ben, can I, as I'm scanning, see if I can pick up where it is?
Yeah, so I think if you get 2 or 3 torches, you shine your flashlights over to the cavern walls, you're going to be able to locate the ghoul.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it moving? Is it just standing there?
It's moving. It's kind of like, squirming back and forth, waiting to maybe attack Ben again, but you each would get some kind of turn, Reg and Cheryl.
So I'm gonna call out, stay where you are. I'm pointing my weapon at it.
No response to that, just still dancing in the shadow.
Boys, go. I'll cover you, go.
I am grabbing Ben and trying to hustle out of here.
Okay, yeah, so...
And letting him hustle us.
Okay, so yeah, Reg, you're going to use your turn to kind of scoop up Ben and start to make your way toward where you came from.
Yep.
And as you do that, Colonel, you have your gun on the ghoul, and you've yelled for
Can
it
I
to
shoot it?
stop. It didn't comply. Now you're shooting. Give me a firearms check. Ooh, good
That
one.
is a hard success.
All right, very good. So I believe you have D10 damage to deliver here.
Yes, I do. Watch me roll a 1. That's a 3. So I do 3 damage. It's just bullet goes through its shoulder, but doesn't seem to do a whole lot.
Okay, yeah, so the creature does take the shot in the shoulder and lunges back into the wall. You kind of see a spatter of blood against the cavern wall in your flashlight, but the creature's still on its feet, and even though you shot it, you're far away, it's actually going to try to lunge toward Reg and Ben to prevent them from leaving this cavern area. And it's going to actually attack Reg first, because I imagine, Reg, your back is to the creature as you're carrying Ben out of this area. So would you like to fight back or dodge?
I think I will dodge,
Okay.
hopefully.
Good
Yeah,
luck.
you will attempt to dodge, right?
Correct.
Good luck.
Okay. That's a regular success for the creature.
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
no.
boy.
Oh, yeah, no.
Okay, so
I'm gonna push this dodge roll.
okay.
I might as well.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll let you do it. Sure.
fancy.
Why not? So that's a success on a push.
Good. So what did you do differently? You saw the claw kind of out of the corner of your eye coming for the
Yeah.
back of your neck.
So what I would do is probably just tuck and roll. So it might not be elegant, and obviously we don't normally push rolls in combat, but it's fun.
Yeah.
So-
running up
so
against
yeah.
time, I'll let you do it. Absolutely.
Sure. We're almost out of time. So yeah, I'm absolutely just tucking and rolling and trying to almost like Indiana Jones my way out of this area.
Good. So that works. The only downside to that is that you've left Ben exposed by trying to tuck and roll away from the creature.
Oh, and he gets another attack.
And the
doesn't
creature gets a second attack. So,
Yeah.
Ben, would you like to dodge or fight back?
I'm dodging. I have no intention of fighting anything. I
Okay.
just want to run away.
All right. Let's roll for it.
Yeah, okay.
The creature fails, so you're good.
All right.
Yeah. So,
I've actually made my dodge as well.
Ben, actually, I think that maybe even Reg kind of dragged you along at the last minute, pulled you out of the way of another bite trying to come down on your face. So that was very fortuitous. Colonel, you're watching all this happen.
Absolutely.
Can I, as soon as I see the creature moving towards Reggie and Ben, can I start running to try and put myself between the creature and them as they're trying to get away?
Yeah, I think the creature's pretty close to
Intercept.
it, but you're, you can probably, you want to stay a little bit back with your firearm, maybe. I don't know. Do you want to be point
I
blank
could
with the
tackle
thing?
it. I could tackle it.
Yeah, so you can
or I could point blank it in the back of the head.
Yeah.
Either way.
So you're close enough that you can do just about anything you'd like, including shoot the thing from pretty close in.
Okay, so I want to go up and try to shoot it in the back of the head, try to get rid of it.
Okay, all right. So give me a firearms check.
Watch me fail.
Ooh,
oh wow!
beautiful.
Oh, that's an extreme.
That's
an extreme.
Yeah, so on the
That's an impale right there.
Yeah, so that is no matter what you do here, this creature's head is gone. So I'm not going to make you roll for like a crit here or anything. So you are point blank behind the creature's head. You pull the trigger, and Ben and Reg, you hear a extremely loud bang, and you are just covered in blood and guts.
Oh, that's a sand roll.
And
Cheryl,
you hear Cheryl, die, motherfucker.
Yeah. I'm not going to ask for a sand roll from Cheryl, but I am going to ask for one from the two of you as you're covered in this blood spatter.
Absolutely, fair enough. And I fail mine spectacularly.
Okay.
Yeah, as do I.
Good. Well, I'll give you D6s just for the potential for about a madness.
Full of ghouls, but we just don't like being shot.
Four.
Almost.
D6, yeah.
Yeah.
Darn.
Oh, okay. No bouts. No, that's fine.
Damn it.
Yeah, so so the two of you again just covered in blood and guts, dead ghoul creature, at least what's left of it, everything from the neck down.
Cheryl.
Just kind of fell forward right next to you, Ben and Reg, and Cheryl's just standing there with a smoking gun and crazed eyes looking at what she's just done.
We're out of here.
What's the smell of gun smoke in the morning?
I grab Ben's hand again, and I'm trying to pull us back up out of this.
Okay.
Clearly traumatized by this whole thing, and he just kind of lets himself be dragged away. He fumbles about and gets his headphones and puts them on and just turns the music up to full blast and slams the play button.
While they're doing that, can I go and put a bullet in the head of each one of these things on the floor while they're unconscious? I said I brought extra ammo.
30 rounds.
Did you bring enough? Yeah. Okay. I'll let you.
In case.
So I'm just gonna go in like execution style, shoot all of these things in the head while they're unconscious.
Okay.
Get it all out.
So as you do that, as you start to shoot them, you do notice, Cheryl, that they all have tattooed runes on their body. And they're very similar to what you found on that piece of paper. I'm not trying to discourage you from what you're trying to do. It's just something that you've noticed as you're now executing them all.
I see this and I go, that's interesting. Bang.
All right, so as
I'm probably humming something very very loud while I'm doing this. Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably humming like "Cat People" by David Bowie or something, like putting out fire with gasoline. Boom.
So as you're doing this, you're noticing the tattoos kind of on each one, remarking, that could be interesting, but you don't give a shit about that.
I don't care.
Yeah, which is perfectly reasonable. So the two of you are dragging them out. This seems to be working. It's almost like shooting into glass because they're frozen solid, and you're just seeing with each one there's like frozen blood just shattering across the ground as you're blowing all their heads off. Are you doing this to the central ghoul too? The one standing at the center of the ritual circle?
I'll go all the way around and I'll go up behind him and shoot him in the back of the head.
Okay. Yeah. So you've and that one, it's almost like and the two of you are going to kind of hear and maybe even turn around and see this as well. It's a
headphones on.
Not
listening.
Well, I'm imagining that we're stopped at the ladder, and I'm like trying to push him up the ladder, and obviously I'm checking on the colonel because I want to know what the hell's going on. All I'm hearing is gunfire back there.
I love that Rena's normal actions are like bouts of madness.
Yeah,
it's a magic madness.
Yeah, so you're kind of, remember it was
I'm
a 40
soldier.
It was a 45-minute walk. So y'all are kind of dragging your bodies out of this cavernous area. Rena, Cheryl is the colonel is finishing the job down there. And all you're left with, Cheryl, is just shattered heads everywhere surrounding you.
Cue the music.
Job well done. And I'm just gonna look around, double check to make sure I got all of them. And then I'm just going to casually walk back out into the tunnel. Like, gonna have to call command about this one.
This mall is clean.
It has been cleansed.
And you've been doing this for a long time, Colonel. So when you finally get to those maintenance doors and exit the caverns, you see Reg and Ben and Paul Spindiner is standing there with them, and they're all just like looking at you wide-eyed.
I probably got blood splattered all over me.
Covered in.
Oh yeah.
And paint on my face.
And I don't know if the two of you have had a chance to talk to Paul yet, but you can tell him whatever you'd like.
Cheryl comes out and sees Paul, and she just says, "Think I took care of your problem."
Well, what was it? Why are you're covered in blood?
There's things down there. Well, pieces of things down there.
Paul, I'd say you've got some real serious structural problems here. My best guess is to fill that in as much as you can.
You get a cement mixer, get a big funnel, and fill that hole full of it.
Mr. Spindler, I'm afraid I can't endorse your mall.
Is it over then? Or you took care of it completely?
Yes, Paul, give me my damn money. I'm getting out of here.
Okay. Yes.
You might want to. I'm going to be calling some people to come and clear things up. Maybe make sure that you don't have any more problems. But I would recommend you don't open this mall until they tell you it's okay to open this mall.
Okay, maybe 2 more days. We'll open.
They'll tell you.
Can I have my money now, please?
Yeah, so he actually tells you that there's a briefcase for each of you in the security office, so you probably want to double count because it's been in there with Officer Nguyen, who's probably sleeping toward the end of his shift. And so you've kind of told Paul that the area is cleared. Cheryl, are you going to tell the government what happened?
Oh yes, like I've got some connections after my time in intelligence out there. So I'm going to call in my former boss and tell him there's a situation. He needs to get a team down there just to check things out because I don't know what was happening.
Okay.
I think maybe it was the Russians.
He puts you in touch with the special division with a triangular symbol.
And so it might be the Russians, sir. Better check it out.
And
there you go.
And once the three of you kind of part and go on your way, the government is going to follow up on this and take a look at what you found, Cheryl. And interestingly, there's some more seismic activity in the area, and all that those investigators find are piles of impassable rubble. So they don't really find anything, but they completely suppress the truth as you know it, everything that you've told them about this particular incident. And you don't see anything about this in the media. No one really talks about it. The mall opens normally and starts to serve the public once the military's done their little investigation.
I'm going to leverage this to get back into service in some capacity. Like, get me out of retirement. I am bored as fuck.
Right? And
Ben never leaves his bedroom again.
Yeah.
I love that.
And Reggie...
When the internet comes, he is over the moon. Because that means he never ever has to even leave his chair.
I love it. I picture. I know you didn't go insane, and none of us went insane or died, but that's okay.
Yeah, we were really good.
So
I
Ben,
still got to kill things though.
Ben, I love this idea that you sit in your room and you're hacking CCTV systems all the time, trying to find other supernatural events happening.
Well, and there's that one feed, Ben, that you never found. And so there's one out there that maybe you still need to find.
I like
There's
that.
a camera out there pointing down a corridor to a door. That door leads.
For Reggie, I think he moves immediately.
Okay.
And probably never looks back.
Good. It is like Poltergeist in that way, right? And everyone survives. No one goes insane, but they do move. And
Cheryl joins a little organization called Delta Green.
I love that. Yeah, and Paul Spiner just kind of carries on with his life, acting like nothing ever happened. And this mall goes on to serve the public for a very long time. And eventually, 40 years down the road, the mall has been closed to the public, but they've actually hired a security guard to patrol the grounds of the mall. So just kind of walking up and down the corridors of the mall, 40 years into the future, the security guard feels this cold gust of wind. But fortunately, you've killed everything, haven't you, Colonel?
Oh, yes.
That's just a Cincinnati winter for you. I'm sure he'll be fine. All right.
Awesome.
And that is the scenario. That is Stalker in the Moonlit Mall. We played that in an interesting off-path way, which I like. And part of that's timing.
There's another way to play it.
Well, I think had we done that in 2 parts, we could have had more rituals and things like that from Rena's book. But yeah, what happened was, prehistoric man had gone down and explored these caverns, found a connection to Ethaqua, who was the kind of god responsible for all of this. And there was a transformation spell, turned everyone into ghouls, and they were all frozen. And someone in that book you have, Rena, released one of the ghouls. So one of them thawed out and just patrolled the grounds of the mall every night, eventually killing the security guard. And your task was to do a counter spell and to vanquish all of this back. But why not just shoot them in the head? You had the ammo.
She did a counter spell. It's just the first 2 words.
It's called bullet.
It's the American counter spell.
Yeah.
The freedom counter spell.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so the elder things remain asleep, not to disturb anyone ever again, potentially. All right, well, thank you all for playing. I had a lot of fun. I never know if it's fun for anybody else. But
I hope everyone watching on the stream enjoyed that as much as we did.
And thank you for watching. You rolled really well too, which hurt our chances of some of the problems we could have got into. Do you have any last things to plug, Michael? I know you have exciting news. I don't mind a third plug on that.
No. I mean, we've plugged it a couple of times, and so thank you again. It's the Always Podcast, the podcast that I help run. Is debuting Horror on the Orient Express in 2021. We're going to be offering up 5 investigator prequels throughout the month of December. Basically, every Wednesday, a new prequel drops. And then as we get into 2021, a new year, a new campaign. So we hope you join us. Come check us out.
All right. Wonderful. Anyone else? Parting words?
Yep. You can find me on Mr. Corbett, which I've done with Ain't Slayed Nobody. Check that out. It was a really fun scenario. Really enjoyed it. You might hear a familiar voice after you've heard this particular stream. You can find me on almost all of the other Ain't Slayed streams here and on Patreon. I was in part 1 of Catland, which we did with Scott Dorwart. Part 2 will be coming up at some point soon, I think. So if you're not on Patreon, you should definitely get on there, check that out, hear my atrocious Russian accent. You can also soon hear me on the First Watch D&D podcast, doing a short arc with them. And of course, starting in December and January, you'll be able to hear me on the Old Ways podcast with Horror on the Orient Express. In the meantime, you can find me on Discord. You can also find me on Twitter at snarky_Romulan.
Very good. And how about you, Spike?
Yeah, not as much as that. Rena does all the pods. I mean, I'm really looking forward to the journey on the Orient Express to see what horrors await us there. And we will get on a train, I'm sure. Also, you can find me on that Twitter. I don't do much on Twitter, but I'm there and I'm hanging about on the Discord. Every sort of 3-4 weeks or so, I read a little spooky story. So maybe a Monday or a Thursday evening, if you're feeling in the mood, come the long cold winter nights. If you want to have a chill run up your spine, please tune in.
Very good. And
that's on the Good Friends of Jackson Elias Discord server, I should say.
Yes, and you can find that through any of us. We can tell you how to get there because I don't know. The links are always wonky there. If you want to get on our Discord, though, it's slade.me/Discord, and then we can redirect you to the good friends, of course. We're continuing our main arc, Y'all of Cthulhu. We're in the home stretch of that. Maybe 3 or 4 episodes left. We're not quite sure, depending on how they play it. We're going back to the Old West for season 2, so that will start in 2021. We're excited about that. And, of course, patreon.com/AintSlade. We have the artwork from John Sumrow that's going to be mailed out around December 1st, so join up before then. We also have an archive of all of our Twitch streams, so they live on Twitch for 60 days, but you can access them forever. Well, until Patreon goes out of business or whatever happens. As long as we can keep them up there, they'll be available. Follow us on Twitter and all social media at AintSlade, and that's it. Everybody, thank you. Take care.
Everybody lives.
We'll be back with more streams.
May your God go with you.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Scott Dorward's going to be so pissed at me because I've done this before where I let everyone live.